Christopher Robin, what exactly is doing nothing?
Well, I'm told it means going along, listening to all the things you can't hear, and not bothering.
When I'm with you, I'm with you. And all when I'm with you, I'm with you. Forever and ever, all alone on the moon, and you will always answer forever, forever and ever, all alone on the moon.
Listening to all the things you can't hear. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together.
Every summer, wherever you ever, every summer, and you will always answer. Every summer, wherever you ever, every summer, find me. When I'm with you, I'm with you. And all. When I'm with you, I'm with you.
Remember,
Forever and ever, all alone on the moon, and you will always answer. Forever and ever, all alone on the moon.
I wanna stay like this. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together.
Every summer, wherever you ever, every summer, and you will always answer. Every summer, wherever you ever, every summer, find me.
No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. You should know. Always be together. No matter where I go, always be together. Always be together.
Anywhere.
And hello, orcs and gamers. Welcome to another episode of Morning Nonsense. Hello, I hope all of you are doing fantastic so far. All of you lovely people out there. Oh, the best chat. Always the best chat. That's what makes this show so special. So, hello, everyone. Hello. Let's see here. Okay. Make sure everything is up and running. So, hello, Ben Z. Welcome. I see Ben Z have decided to join us. Awesome. Fantastic. Harry Schroeder. Welcome, Harry Schroeder. Drake the Duelist. Drake the Duelist, I did see your email. I just haven't had a chance to answer this yet, but I'll get back to it today. Nef Champion. Hello. Good morning, LD. Best chat. Well, hello, Nef Champion. Harry Schroeder. Welcome, Harry Schroeder. Dr. Crow. Hello, Dr. Crow. And Arch Madge. Welcome to the chat, Arch Madge. The Shampoo Tester. Welcome, the Shampoo Tester. Welcome. Let's see. Okay, everyone. RMS DX. Hello, more RMS DX. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Let's see. Okay, everyone. We have obviously, as always, we have a fantastic lineup of delicious nonsense. But I do have a guest today. Hello, Spitfire. Welcome, Spitfire. Nexus 906. Hello, all my little orcs. Hello. Very nice, very nice. Hello, all my orcs. I love the orc stuff. I added a family tree to all the emojis. They all begin with lit now. Also, speaking of custom emojis, hello Demon by Sword, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Well, hello Demon by Sword, and hello Mark and 3D. Good morning, everyone. Hello Mark and 3D. Welcome, welcome. And Zaid Comics, hail the chat. Well, hail Zaid Comics. Welcome, welcome. Speaking of which, according to uh, YouTube, we just need to require just two more members, channel members, and we can add in a new custom emoji. Fantastic. Hello, Lucky Jinx. Welcome to the chat, Lucky Jinx. Hello, the numbers. Hello, hello, Super Kakarot. Hello, Super Kakarot. Reason Vision. Hello, Reason Vision. Space Oyster. Hello, Space Oyster. Welcome back, Space Oyster. Criminal Imagination. Hey, lady. Well, hey, Criminal Imagination. Hello, hello. Bedroom Bunny. Good evening from down under Satan. How are you? Bedroom Bunny. Appreciate that. The One Service Tanya. Are you an orc gang or gamer gang? Orc gang. Always represent the orc gang signs. Johan, hello. Hello, Johan. Alexstar H. Lobo. Hello, Alexstar H. Lobo. Welcome to the chat. Kokrava. Hail LD. Hello, Kokrava. Nick Brown, the man of renown. I like that name. I like how it rhymes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Lancelot652. Good morning, LD. Well, good morning, Lancelot652. Okay, okay. Let's see. Flint Glockwood. Hello, Flint Glockwood. Good morning to you. Okay, well, I have a guest today. Talk about I believe, recent book that's come out. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, how are you doing
Whoa.
today?
What's up? Hey, Lit Devil, hail the chat. Thanks for having me on. Man, it is I don't remember the last time I was up this early that I actually slept before. You know, usually I'll usually be working and just stay up. But it's good to be here, everybody. Yeah, when
Yeah, just stay up all.
writing sometimes
Oh,
gets out of hand
fantastic.
and I have to stay up, you know.
I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Didn't you write Magic Cop also? Or that's something else.
Yeah, I did.
Right,
I
right.
did
I remember that
Magic
now.
Cop. My
Magic Cop
brother did
was
the
pretty
art
good.
for that.
It's an interesting project.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was
That was interesting.
it's just fun. Yeah, yeah.
And have it. And you wanted to go over your campaign, the Lost Pages from Zaid Comics, right? Is that
Yeah,
the one
yeah,
you want to
this
go
is
over?
our new book. So if you guys love comics
Oh,
and if you
good,
love storytelling,
good.
there's a lot of that in here. It's kind of like an homage and love letter to comic books and storytelling.
That's when I pulled up. So
Yeah.
hopefully that was the one that you wanted to go over. Fantastic,
Yeah, of course.
fantastic. Well, let's see here. Let's see. I actually want to go over this because not just to promote it, but I went over the concept, and
Hmm.
it's I have another one to compare it to, one that I've seen recently, and I would say
Yeah.
yours is better. Yours is better presented, in my opinion.
I, I think I know what you're talking about, but thank you so much.
And as far as I know, you're not the top seller of DC comics or anything like that, right?
No, no. Nope, not even related to one. Yeah.
Oh, interesting how that works. That you were able to put together a very similar concept and put together so interestingly. However, uh, someone who is a top seller, we could say, this, not naming any names, not yet,
Right. Right.
couldn't put it together, couldn't put something together this interesting on his own. Not on his own either. He has a team of people, you know, a team of people.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Uh,
sure.
so so not only will we be promoting your comic at the moment, we're going to be setting up for your rise and I suppose his metaphorical fall.
Thank you. I
Because
appreciate it.
we actually went over his campaign in the previous episode, but it's
Yeah.
always nice to have a campaign like yours to compare it to because yours has a similar concept. It goes over similar ideas, and it's on the same platform.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Okay, so we have the Lost Pages from Zaid Comics, and let me go ahead and read this little tagline because if people don't know in the chat, this tagline right here is what people see if they don't know who you are really, and they're just kind of browsing through Indiegogo. It's like I want to check out comics, see what comics are being promoted today. This is all they see. This and
Right.
whatever picture you put up on the campaign board. But if they want to read like, hey, this is cool artwork. What's it about? And you
Right.
put stories of the heroes that will come together to write the end of the world. Now that sounds really cool. That's tangible.
Awesome. Thanks.
I can grasp it. Okay, these heroes are going to come together to write the end of the world. Why would heroes write the end of the world? And that gets me thinking. It gets my brain working. That why are heroes writing the end of the world, and how are they going to write it? What's going on here? So that would honestly get me to click on it if I wanted to look into
sweet.
this concept. And then covered by Simon Bisley.
Yeah.
And then okay. As the
Yeah,
overview.
that little tagline is kind of hard to write because you only have a limited number of characters you could put there. So it's like
Yeah.
you have to make sure what you want to, get across in that limited space.
Yeah, it's very limited. Very limited.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, chat link in the description below the video if you want to check it out for yourselves. Lost pages from Zaid Comics. You have currently 181 backers, 21 days left in the campaign. You are more than funded, so this is definitely coming out. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was amazing how much better we did on this campaign compared to our first one for the Magic Cop. Just to put it into perspective, it took Magic Cop 2 months to get $4,700 at the end of our 60 days,
Wow.
and we got that in like 2 hours on this campaign. So delivering our book really helped us build an awesome reputation with our customers.
That's
And fans,
fantastic.
yeah.
Congratulations. Far
Thank
more
you so
success
much.
in this one.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, Magic Cop did really well. People must have really liked it because you got a lot more backing this time around.
Yeah, for
If it
sure.
was terrible, I'm pretty sure you would have noticed.
Yeah, that's all built on merit. That's what we definitely want.
Yeah, meritocracy. Can't beat
Mhm.
meritocracy. They can try, but they can't.
Yeah.
However much they try, they can't. They really can't do it in the end. Not really.
Left-wing activists, they say, nice hobby that you have. It's a little bit sexist, don't you think? Maybe you better let us in to fix it. Bitch, it wasn't made for you.
Something like that. Like they could say, they could walk in with a swagger and say, "Hey, is your hobby's a little bit sexist, isn't it? Why don't we stop this meritocracy nonsense and start getting people in based on skin color? Because that's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Based on gender and skin color." And then they did that, and it didn't work. It started falling down. It started just crumbling like glass. And then you get confiscated. And
Yep.
see here, Ben Z, thank you much for 10. Appreciate that. Yes, we are always awake. We are the legion of the productive members of society. Dun dun dun. The demon that keeps awake, the woke that keeps awake, the woke, and calm at night. A round of applause for yourselves. We win by existing. Actually, that's correct. We actually do win by existing.
Yes.
That's how easy the fight is. I mean, it's a very it can be a very annoying fight, but that's how easy our fight is. All we have to do is be one. We have two jobs. There's two things we have to always remember to do in order to defeat the woke nonsense people. One is be human, and two is just exist. Just
Yeah.
do those at the same time, and the victory is pretty much won eventually.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yeah.
they don't-
Us
you know-
being here and putting this stuff out is definitely just a constant crack in their armor.
Absolutely. They can't stand it either. They go absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And people. The only reason why they have power is because people tend to be kind of afraid of them. They don't want to be
Yeah.
swarmed by Twitter bees. But these I think I've heard them called blue-haired land whales. You have to
I've heard that.
do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. The trick is not to be afraid. To stand up for yourself and be Captain Ahab.
I'm fucking Ahab. I'm Captain Ahab of the blue-haired land whale.
Just be Ahab. Okay, it's got to be Ahab.
Yes.
Okay. Enough of that for now. Let's take a look at your campaign. I see Shiny in the chat. Welcome, Shiny. Welcome. Shiny's a occasional co-host on the show. Always glad to have him. Let's see. Okay. So, Bedroom Bunny. That's a very interesting name.
Yeah, that perked my interest.
Yeah. Living rent free in woke minds is fun, and how crazy they act. Yes, yeah, they can't stand for anyone to disagree with them. So, I mean, on this Mudcast, I mean, we covered one person who will go unnamed, Patricia Taxon. Uh, we covered that unique individual's video, and they never let it go, along with AT chat. Never let it go. We covered the videos, and they went on a rampage as if I don't know, we kicked a hornet's nest or something. It was ridiculous. Months down the line, they're still sour about us covering the videos, and I hadn't thought about them, and since we did their video, it's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on,
Oh yeah,
but
they
they
don't
just
let
get
it go.
obsessed with this stuff. Yeah, they don't let it go. They don't let it go. They just get obsessed with this stuff. Let's
You
see
hurt their
here.
pride.
Let's see, Shiny X. Everyone's spamming me in chat. How'd you miss that? I didn't.
I saw that. Yeah.
I eventually caught it. Eventually caught it. Let's see. Havoc1137. Hey, Lit Devil. I've been working on an RPG tabletop setting for some time. Any
Ooh.
thoughts on what makes a setting engaging and interesting? Well, unfortunately, I'm not the I'm an expert on tabletop games, unfortunately, but I can say that writing wise, because I know that it requires a lot of same principles you put into that sort of stuff. It's the same principles you put into writing, like a book or something. Just put in something interesting for people to grasp, things, lore to explore, make it more grounded, and that makes it very interesting. It feels very grounded, very real. The more immersive it is. But don't go too far.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a golden mean sort of thing. It's just keep it between. Don't go into to every molecule of the setting, so to speak. Every metaphorical molecule, but don't leave it too vague either. Just give some interesting things to explore. Oh, you know what? I'll put it like this. Uh, give people, put things in there that'll give your players questions that they want answered. What's this or what's that? What's so interesting about this, or something that you might or put forth something of your setting that will intrigue or entice your players.
Yeah,
Ben Z,
that's oh, could I add something to that, Litdev?
sure,
I was gonna
absolutely.
say, for the writing aspect, like world building in general, or if you're working with a new character that you're gonna put out, and this goes with comics or any type of world building when you're writing, is give that character or that world a little time to like ferment in your mind. You don't want to rush your comic out or your tabletop game out. Sit with it for a little bit. Like the characters we're going to look at today in the Lost Pages, I've been working with them for years, and this is the first time we're putting them into a comic format for the most part. One of them I published back in the day, but now I know who they are, how they react to different things, and their voice. So you definitely want to grasp onto that and not rush things.
Very good advice. Very good advice. And that goes for, I think, to me, that goes for both tabletop settings and if you're just writing something, like if you're writing a
Yeah,
comic or a book or something. See, the same principles kind of tend to apply in either setting. It's just that you have to tailor it toward a game setting in on one hand, where they're on, and then on the other hand, it's a lot less constrictive or less stressful because it's a book. You control everything.
yeah.
When it comes to gaming, uh, tabletop games, I guess your players can throw a monkey wrench into do whatever you want to put a plan into. Let's see here, Ben Z. Thank you very much for the 10. Appreciate that. Hail the devil of literature, who see the truth reaps the tears of the woke. They're very delicious tears, very delicious.
Yummy.
That's what I run on. And walks into rooms to wails of Ree because they fear him because he lives in the details. They pretend they don't exist. Dr. Alpha emoji. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ben Z.
Free.
Yeah, exactly. Ree. That's all I hear all day.
I believe it.
From these weirdos. These can't grasp certain things, I suppose. But thank you very much, Ben Z. Appreciate that. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Lucky Jinx, isn't Patty Taxon the one who tried to pick a fight with Rags and lost horribly? Yes, that's the same Patty Chan that we're talking about. The same exact one. Same exact one. So and then proceeded to make a video so horrible that your boy Smut Boy just had to cut it short. He couldn't finish it. It was just way too smug. It was just 90% smug, 90% back patting, and maybe 10%. No, it was 100% smug. That's what it was. It was 100% smug, and we couldn't take it. I mean, you could just watch the first minute. You watched the video. It's like a 30-minute video or something like that. But you watch the first minute, you pretty much watch the whole thing at that point. But either way, let's see here. The Lost Pages from Zaid Comics. Stories of the heroes that will come together to right the end of the world. And that's interesting tagline. Very interesting tagline. That gets me thinking, gets me intrigued. And then it's going to be you get down here for the overview. You want to talk about it a little
Thank
bit?
you.
Talk about the story concept and the
Yeah,
characters
sure.
and
So
stuff?
this is our second graphic novel that we put out. This is going to be 60 pages, a full size graphic novel, printed in the high quality print like we did with Magic Cop. So we got Magic Cop right here, and this one's a totally different universe and a new IP for us. So this is our connected universe of heroes. So we're trying to hit on the big companies, what they're doing with all their different heroes, but this is set in one story that is told linearly and narrated by a homeless man that we call the Hobo, and he has the magical book of lost pages. Inside of them are these stories of different heroes that live in our world, protecting us from evil, from different genres as well. So this is kind of a love letter to comic genre. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the Hobo as he speaks around the trash fire, with the holding the book, and as he holds the book, you see the different heroes that kind of like magically project out as he's telling these stories to passersby. These characters are going to eventually come together. Some of them will team up. You'll see them interact with each other, and ultimately be responsible for writing the end of the book, or I like to say the end of the world. So we're working with a bunch of different amazing artists. I'm writing all the stories in here, and it's just going to be a blast. Some of these characters I've worked with for years, like I said, and as we go through them, I'll point that out. But
Mhm.
this is just going to be really fun for everybody. If you love stories, storytelling, and comics, there's something in here for you for sure.
That sounds fantastic. I like this whole the bum around the fire. It's a very visceral scene.
Yeah,
It's very it's kind of universal. You see this a lot in different movies and well, pretty much a lot of things. And there's the whole trope of the wise homeless man and the one who comes out and gives and dishes out
like a
wisdom to
sage.
heroes. Yeah, and like a sage.
Yeah,
Even as recent as the Daredevil TV show, what's his name, Stick, something like that.
yeah, yeah.
He enters
Stick.
the fray. We get to see him. He's like a bum looking guy, but he's really wise
Yeah.
also.
hmm Yeah, you have these like archetypes, right? That are always harped on in storytelling and literature, and that old mentor, that sage, that guy that's been around the block with wisdom is definitely one of them. So I kind of try to latch onto those classic archetypes for storytelling, and you'll see them come up throughout a lot of different characters in this story for sure, because from learning from doing Magic Hop to this one, this is I've definitely grown as a writer. I want to be show things off a little bit more mature, but still have lots of action, lots of fun, and keep it to those comic book roots of
Mhm.
big splash pages and these big moments that are strung together by this plot. So we're hitting these big scenes in this book as well.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I like the idea. And
Thank you.
let's see, and
Y-
overview. We got that.
Yeah,
We pretty much went over
this
everything.
cover, man.
Uh,
Yeah, we can go into it. If you want to scroll back up to the cover, because this is, I don't know if you know how many, if you guys are comic fans from the 90s, then you'll definitely recognize Simon Bisley's art style. I'm a huge Simon Bisley fan. If you guys know of like 2000 AD, Judge Dredd stuff, he's done covers for them. He did the Batman Judgment on Gotham, which was Batman and Judge Dredd comic book, and he painted the interiors of that. I have one of the heavy metal magazines that he did a cover for. And he did a bunch of
very
covers for
nice.
heavy metal back in the day. My favorite, he basically reinvented Lobo in the 90s. So if you guys are DC fans, Lobo is a huge character in my life. I love that character, and we were able to land him for the cover. Once we go through the perks and everything, he actually is signing 25 copies of this book, which is mind blowing that we got him to do that. It was crazy because I actually had to send him the script and some of the pages for him to okay the actual that he would sign the book. And I was really nervous because I'm like, oh man, if he doesn't want to sign this, I'm just never going to write again.
Awesome. I know that feeling.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
he's really cool. It's awesome for him to do that. And yeah, I really wanted to build this campaign page. You were talking about how there's a lot of thought put into the page, unlike, some people that have similar stories.
yeah.
But I wanted to show off like a couple pages, completed pages from each story in here because it is told by that hobo, and you fade into these stories as he tells them. So you'll see the hobo, and then you'll go into the silhouette story, and you'll see his pages, and him narrating that. But each story is told differently, different art style from a different artist. So we put that on the page here for everybody to see.
This is really good. It's really interesting because I really like the cover. This is the cover, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's mentioned up there. Yeah, it's a very. It just
Hmm.
draws you in. And look at all this interesting looking stuff. Um, Let me see here. So it says the first book in an epic connected universe of new heroes. When a mystical book finds its way into the hands of a homeless man, stories lost to time of heroes from different eras. And that's cool. So okay, Chad, remember this. And remember that I wanted to highlight this, okay? When a mystical book finds its way into the hands of a homeless man. Okay, read again. The mystical book finds its way into the hands of a homeless man. Stories lost to time of heroes from different eras. Okay, it's important. Keep this in mind because we'll come back to this line in a little bit. Backgrounds and genres are revealed. Listen to one day come together and write the end of the world. Paired with our bonus comic containing a 4-page short story for every character that will expand with stretch goals. That's really cool. So you're adding a 4-page short story it's a 4-page short story for each character
Yeah.
with stretch goals.
Yeah, so in the base bonus comic now, if you pick that up, it's with our $50 tier. You could add it on,
Mhm.
where we have different stories for these characters, for each of the heroes, and then, like it said, as we hit different stretch goals, like our next stretch goal is when we hit 13,500, it's going to add another bonus story with a different character from the universe that's going to be their first appearance. So
Hmm.
it's going to add that character as a new one, and as well a trading card for them so you guys can learn more about them. So it's kind of like a living, breathing, growing bonus comic. So if you get that, there's potential to have 3 or 4 extra stories added into there before the end of the campaign. So the page content goes up exponentially with that, and we have opportunities to work with creators like Kyung Lee from Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb is set to do a bonus comic if we hit a stretch goal,
Hmm.
and Simon Zimbotier, as well as EJ Morgis, who's working on a bunch of stuff with Ethan on Cyberfrog. So amazing artists, man.
Interesting. That's some good people on team then.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I want to talk about some of the perks before we move on, or
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
before we move
The
on.
that top one is the featured perk is, like I said, it's our Bisley pack. So if you guys love the cover, he'll actually sign the book for you. You'll get that signed book. It comes with a bonus comic. Comes with a fold-out poster, which every perk that comes with a bonus comic has that poster included, as well as the sticker set, which is designed by 6 a.m. Comics. He's an
Oh,
awesome,
6 a.m. comics.
awesome.
He's the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
He's the guy doing that big collage of all the
Mhm.
CG characters. Doctor Alpha's in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really cool. So that sticker set you could add on to any perk, but if you get this perk, it comes with it for free.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mhm.
Always like extra stuff. And
Yeah,
then
that's swag.
is this the basic one, the signed book? $25
Yeah, so
signed book.
for the basic stuff, you got the signed book. It's signed by myself and my brother, and then that's going to come with all of the stretch goals as well, which we've already unlocked a bunch of them. We have a lot of trading cards coming for each of these heroes. Then the digital perk, and then I believe the one after that is like our basic, the most content bang for your buck after that Bisley tier. Once that Bisley tier gets sold out, you can actually get this one. It comes with both books plus that poster.
Well, that's good. That sounds interesting. Signed book plus bonus comic, and then both books plus Crimson masks. What are those
Yeah,
like?
so we'll see it later down on the page, but this is like kind of our new merch thing that we're doing. Oh, where is it? Here we go. I actually have it. So we made like this bandana here that you guys could wear around to kind of like represent Zaid Comics. One of our characters, you've seen that big monsters character on the cover, or right there on the page above the hobo to the right. The girl, her name's Taz, and she wears this to hide her secret identity. So it kind of represents that big monstrous hulking badass that is actually her imaginary friend that lives in her head.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Now that's a pretty good idea. It's kind of like a Greek idea. You know how Athena just came from the head of Zeus.
Yeah.
That old story, something like that. Except in her head, it's a monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. So the Lost Pages double pack.
Yeah, this comes with, 2 regular books, 2 bonus comics, and then two posters. And then the next one is really cool because this one helps out our artists, right? Any of the original art tiers that you get, some of the portion goes directly to the artist. So the next one comes with a sketch. It's basically like our featured tier that has the 2 books, the poster, and a sketch you could choose to have whichever artist you wanted to do. So it's either between Joe Ball, who does our wild card story, and Maria the Wolf, who's doing our Crimstone story.
Interesting. I know Joe Ball. I heard that name
Mhm.
around. Also
Yeah,
another good
he's
talent.
super detailed. Yeah, super detailed, talented artist. He's been doing this for years, so he's awesome. Yeah, he's a great guy too. Good friend of ours.
Now this is one of the characters I'm really interested in. I guess he's called the
Yeah,
Silhouette.
yeah, we could totally talk about the characters.
I like this
And
style. I really like this style. It kind of reminds me of like a really dark, a rough Sin City sort of feel, like a noir, really dark
yeah,
noir.
yeah. He's our supernatural vigilante. He doesn't really know his past, so we kind of learn his past as the series goes on with him. He was actually the first character my brother and I ever came up with and published. We published him really short runs back in like 2012. That's how old this character is. So I've lived with these characters for so long. When I took a break from doing comics when I went to college, and I actually use these characters in writing classes to kind of work them out in my head, and wrote short stories about them. So the Silhouette, he sees things in black and white. If you're a bad person, then he's going to deal with you. If you're not, then he doesn't need to think about you at all. Yeah, and he's very brutal. This is more of a mature story. We're gonna, this is how he sees the city around him. We're gonna see prostitution, corruption of cops, drug dealers and stuff like that. So that's the kind of story you're gonna get with this, and it's the only one that's in black and white with some red for blood.
Oh, so that's gonna have spot color for blood. I like
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like it is kind of like Sin City then. I think Sin City had that same exact sort of style where every once in a while a character
Hmm.
would have blue eyes or a red dress or something.
Yeah,
Can we
they
get a whole
did that for
comic
a
about
lot of
this
the
guy?
promotional art.
Can we get a whole comic about
Oh,
this guy?
eventually,
I'm
man.
really interested in this guy. It sounds like really good style.
Yeah, I would. We definitely have plans in the future to do spin-offs. This way, I thought this was the perfect way to do it because introducing multiple characters at once.
Yeah, all of them
You
at
know,
once. Let's see. Who's this guy? Now this sounds interesting. Wild card, the staccato at the sea. At sea.
yeah,
It's like a
yes,
pirate guy with a
yeah,
wolf.
yeah, exactly. So Wildcard is our like historical hero, if you will. He's an ancient sorcerer, apprentice to Merlin. So he has a vast life. You know, he lives from Camelot times on, so I could throw him in like any time frame. And in this time, he's in the 1600s. He's captaining a pirate boat with his crew, and if you scroll down, you'll see that he's not having a great day because the Siren sisters from Greek mythology actually hypnotize his crew, have them turn on him, and you know, they start raising these skeleton pirates to climb up on his boat and try to kill him. And man, he's not having a good day. So he has to deal with that. His wolf there is actually his best friend, who's actually a talking wolf. So you'll see him next to Wildcard throughout all of his stories.
That sounds really interesting. And I want, I
Kind of
want
like
the,
at different pace, you
yeah,
know.
exactly. And well, I want everyone in the chat to notice that these are actually here. We get to see a breakdown of the characters. We get to see a little taste of who they are and what they look like, what what kind of world they actually come from, because they all come from different stories. It's like another campaign I might mention. But here we get to see a little taste of who these people are, where they kind of come from. See, like this pirate with a dog. So when I look at this picture, I was like, "Oh, that looks neat." A pirate with a
Yeah.
wolf. That's interesting. It's like really like the silhouette. It's like a very noir style, very dark looking setting. Very interesting. Really pulls me into the world. This one too. This one's kind of you read Watchmen, right? Have you read Watchmen
Oh
by
yeah,
Alan
for
Moore?
sure. Love the movie too.
Remember those sections with the Black Mariner or something like that? That's what kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, the Black Frag. Yeah,
I think it's called the Black Mariner. I forgot what
Freighter. I
it's
think
called.
it's called
Freighter. I think it was the Freighter.
Freighter. Yeah,
Black Freighter. This is what it reminds me of. It's the same, like very similar art, very similar look to it. Very brutal looking world.
yeah. This is that Joe Ball art, man. He does so much detail. Just look at the front of that boat. It's crazy.
And it looks really detailed. You could probably
Yeah,
move in on it with a microscope and still see HD detail. See, a
yeah,
Skits comic. Thanks for the $1.99. Skits has just launched from
yeah.
Indiegogo. Hail Zaid. Well, that's good. That's
Hail Skid.
fantastic. I heard about Skits. I haven't looked into it yet, but I heard about it.
It's really cool. Very surreal, dreamy stuff.
Let's see. Move down here, and we have this character now. This character. This character is that
Yeah,
one from up here that they really. I have to admit, this guy
the
kind of
big guy.
draws your eye. I mean, look at this whole cover. This is the guy who's kind of the focus here. My eye immediately goes to
Hmm.
this character down here. He's got to read this like that. He has read this tattooed on his.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of wanted to capture the reader's eye.
And he does.
So this character, if you dig 90s comics, this is the character for you. You know, we're kind of, you know, jumping around and trying to harp on those big genres of comics. And this one is your ultra violent character like the Max, Lobo, characters like that from the 90s that are kind of like inspired by that Simon Bisley art style and action. But I wanted to do a character like that and kind of turn it on its head and do something more cerebral. So this page, I think, illustrates it perfectly. We have the girl. Her name's Taz, and she is grown up now. But when she was a kid, she had this imaginary friend named Krim. And you know, kids always have, you know, a lot of them have imaginary friends, and as they grow up, that imaginary friend fades. They have to learn to cope with things like adults, right?
Right.
So we see Krim inside of her head as a child. You know, he's kind of like a kid imaginary friend, and he doesn't know where Taz was. He can't contact her anymore, but he has to live years inside of her head fighting these inner demons, you know, anxiety and stuff like that. And through that struggle, keeping her alive, himself alive, he became this monstrous, badass, jacked, you know, psycho imaginary monster. And something happens in her adulthood that snaps him back into her life. She could see him, she could talk to him now, and they decide to become crime fighters, you know, together. No one else could see him, but when she fights, she sees Krim fighting. The reader sees Krim fighting. He's always like egging her on. It's kind of like you get that Venom aspect, like from the film where he was talking to Venom. So he's just so fun to write and is so high tea and toxically masculine. It's awesome. I
It's
love
my
it.
favorite words. If it's this give the genre toxic male, and you got it.
He's definitely in it. It's fun to watch them bounce off of each other, because she still has those insecurities that he helps her with, for sure.
It kind of reminds me of I think what was it called, Drop Dead Fred, something like that, where he has she has an imaginary character.
Yeah, people were
And
telling me that.
Little Monsters also, that I think it was
Oh
called
yeah.
Little Monsters, the one where he has like a monster best friend or something,
Hmm.
and they go to like the monster world and stuff. It's kind of like that. We have it's this imaginary friend who just makes a big part of the character's story.
Yeah,
And there he is
for sure.
fighting. There he is fighting.
Yeah, big action. This is an awesome artist named Maria the Wolf. She's a local artist here, and she's just so good at drawing like hulking badasses. It's funny because she's this like 5 foot little lady that just draws this super detailed jacked guys.
Awesome. And then we have the Masquerade. No, this is interesting. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
mask sort of feel.
Yes. So if you guys dig, writing and storytelling from the past, the Masquerade is your character. He's our pulp hero. So if you guys remember like the Green Hornet, the Shadow, even shades of Batman 66, the way the story is told with the narration. I really wanted to not only show different sides of art, but different sides of my writing. So like that wild card story is set to a poem about sirens, but this story is narrated by like this omnipotent narrator who's like a character within himself. So you'll get that very like deep inside the abandoned library, setting up the setting, explaining who these heroes are. And the Masquerade, he's obsessed with storytelling. He loves dramatics and the theatric. And he speaks in iambic pentameter to mock his enemies. He speaks in Shakespearean language and poems and rhyming. So he's all wrapped up in that world. And I think this is like the perfect throwback character for people that love stories, because that's ingrained in this character for sure.
Hey, it looks like the old fashioned. It's kind of like that old fashioned hero. It's kind of like a mix
Yeah.
between I would guess the Shadow and
Mhm.
V for Vendetta. Like a little bit with a smile.
Yeah, yeah.
And it has a
Mhm.
kind of
Yeah,
like
he has that comedy tragedy mask.
yeah, very interesting. And so yeah, that's basically the rundown of the campaign as far as I've seen. So
Yeah.
what I wanted to do was I wanted to okay, remember chat. Remember the campaign we just saw, okay? And I'll read this line again. Told I recommended you remember it, but I'll read it one more time so we can so be fresh in our minds. When a mystical book finds its way into the hands of a homeless man, stories lost to time of heroes from different eras, backgrounds, and genres are revealed, destined to one day come together and write the end of the world. Interesting, very short, very succinct. Uh, I get pretty much the entire picture, and it's very interesting. Now, let's go to another one that is successful, but not really as well constructed. I think. Uh, this one is put together by the very famous American comic book superstar Sean Gordon Murphy. It's called Plot Holes, and
Yes.
I want to remind everyone this is what the lost pages from Zaid Comics. This is what the tagline reads: "Stories of the heroes that will come together to write the end of the world." Now, this one reads. From fan favorite comic book creator Sean Gordon Murphy comes an all new tale of action and adventure. How generic do you get?
Yeah.
Okay, just tell me what it's about first, and then tell me it's about. I can read it right here. Probably should have put Sean Gordon Murphy right here. Jeffrey
Yeah.
Martin. I don't know. If you
Who's
wanted to
that?
put
Maybe
Sean
that's
Gordon
his real
Murphy,
name.
yeah, probably. I think this is probably real name. But if you wanted to put fan favorite Sean Gordon Murphy, put Sean Gordon Murphy as your name there. It'll
Yeah.
work just fine. And then you can save. You put Sean Gordon Murphy here. You can save. You can put all this space to use for telling me what this book is about in the first place. Because this tells me nothing. It tells me action and adventure. And as I mentioned last time, action and adventure is kind of like the genre you put something in if you don't know what it is. It's well, what's this game
That's a
about?
good
I don't
point.
know.
Yeah.
Action adventure. Just file it under action adventure, but no one's going to know what it is. The most generic thing you can call something. And so the pitch is the plot holes. The gang is called the plot holes. Are a squad of fictional warriors who transport themselves into the pages of other books, using their unique skills to save the plots in order to stop them from being destroyed. And Cliff is their newest recruit, a comic creator who just realized this world isn't real. In fact, it's complete fiction that literally exists inside a novel. The other members are misfits like him, pulled from unpublished books that couldn't be saved. A manga samurai, a barbarian tiger, a kid from a comic book, and a vampire assassin. Outclassed by other members, Cliff sets out to prove his worth. The plot holes as they fight to save as many books as possible. The other thing stopping them is Surge, an ex-member who has gone rogue. Not only is he threatening to destroy the digital matrix containing them, he's threatening to destroy the database uh, digital libraries all over the world. Now, I kind of get a grasp of the stakes, but I don't really care about the stakes. I don't care. I don't know who these characters are. Like the only thing that they set up for stakes, the only thing Sean Gordon Murphy has set up for any term of stakes is that if they lose, these characters go away. But you know what? I don't care about these
That
characters yet.
doesn't really matter. Yeah.
I have no idea who these characters are. Uh, and you know what? He doesn't. One thing he doesn't do with that your campaign does is he doesn't go over these characters. You think he you think he would if his whole story revolves around us caring that these characters are going to go away if they lose. Didn't work that well. Didn't work that
Right.
well.
Yeah. The characters are really important to me as a writer. Like that's one of the big reasons I love writing so much is building these characters, designing them. So I really wanted to put that in my campaign, show them off, and even the last thing on the campaign, at the very very bottom, I made like biography cards so you could actually read like their bio, which is a little fun extra thing that people could check out. But characters are everything.
Absolutely. If you read, there's actually a manga. I'm not a big manga reader. I should be though.
Yeah.
But one of my favorites is an old time one. It's by the same guy who wrote Lone Wolf and Cub, but he wrote another one called Samurai Executioner. This one's actually like a more or less a historical.
Oh,
Uh, and it's all about like Lone Wolf and Cub is a little easier to write because it's a guy going on an adventure of revenge, but a Samurai Executioner, he's just a guy who cuts off heads of criminals, and there's no like grand Japan spanning adventure. It's just he just goes to the same place and cuts off heads. But what makes it really interesting is the philosophy in it and how what brings the beauty the story's to life is how much effort and focus he puts into characterization. So we get
yeah.
interesting characterizations in the people that eventually get killed, eventually that get executed. So you might have it's basically all about the backstory, all about the circumstances surrounding these criminals. For example, there's one where
Yeah.
let's see here. There's one where this woman gets she wants to die, like she wants to commit a crime, get in there, and and then she gets pregnant later on in the jail because she wants a stay of execution just for a little bit because the one she wants to see a certain man die before her. She doesn't care if she dies. She just wants to see a certain man
Yeah.
die before her. And so there's a whole plot about getting her pregnant by hiring guards and stuff like that just to move around and do the business. And then she eventually gets pregnant, and then it turns out that the guy had already died a long time ago, or something like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so she just wants to die. And so uh, the executioner aside, he's an actual historical figure. He comes out and says, "No, I'm not going to kill you because I do not care about your unborn baby." So it's like a big thing, but probably one of the most recognizable circumstances is Japan at that time, Edo Japan is very very brutal, and one thing you could not do was raise your hand against anything shogun related. You can't basically you can't raise an arm against a royal family. So this one criminal, he was a child rapist and murderer, and he eventually got caught. And of course, they're going to execute that guy because, of course, you are. He's a child rapist and murderer.
Yeah.
But they had an executioner, another different executioner, because the main guy was off. He was off duty, like he was his vacation or something. And they cleaned his neck, they got him ready to cut off his head, and then they say, "Oh no, they can't cut off his head." And they leave us in suspense, like why can't they cut off his head? And it turns out that he had the shogun's name tattooed on the back of his neck, and they can't cut through the
Oh
shogun's
wow.
name because if they do that, you pretty much have to commit seppuku. That's dishonorable.
Yeah, that's
So they
cool. Yeah.
so they get the executioner, the main guy, the main character, and he comes in. So they're like, okay, so we're going to just toss it to him, so he'll cut off the head and he'll get all the punishment. So
Yeah.
he has to think on his feet, and what he does is the criminal's all confident, like you're not going to kill me. There's no way you're going to kill me.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no way a samurai like you or a warrior like you could have the honor to cut through the shogun's name. So what he does is he's so good with the sword, he skins the guy's neck. He just cuts off the back of his neck so that it just takes off the name without injuring the name. And he sets it aside, and then he cuts off the guy's head. Problem solved.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
they're all like a situation like that. That's so. And I read the commentary of the author on Samurai Executioner, and it's just like that. It just concentrates on character. Like it's all about character. Let's see. R Master DX. They should have followed the advice of Backstreet Boys. Tell me why. Exactly. See, at least I mean, even if you didn't tell me about your characters, at least in your campaign, you have something. You have tangible stakes. Like the end of the world. It's very easy to grasp the end of the
Yeah.
world. Okay, it's a very scary thing. That's why the Book of Revelation is so popular. So I mean, people can grasp the end of the world. It's a very simple thing that is pretty much a universal fear. So it
Oh
goes back.
sure.
It goes back centuries and millennia. People have been even like the ancient Greeks and the Norse. They had these myths of end of the world. So the end of the world is a very universal, very simple concept to grasp, and it's very easy to build stakes off of that concept. But characters going away if they lose, maybe that I could care about that if we were like, I don't know, Picard, Luke Skywalker,
Right. But
characters I knew
these end
about.
plot holes are literally fictional characters, even within its book. They
Yeah.
don't they don't have a lot of weight to carry and affect the world around them. So it's going to be hard to care about these fictional characters. It's not like they're humans, stuff like that. I actually had an example here. I'm going to share the screen whenever you want. I thought of plot holes basically as this movie, this 90s movie, if you ever saw this.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Page Master. Yeah, I really like that movie.
Yeah, and I like as soon as I saw plot holes, I'm like, isn't this just Page Master? The
Yeah,
guy's
in fact,
jumping between different books.
when we mentioned we covered this, I think last time someone mentioned Page Master. Like this is
Yeah,
so similar to
good.
Page Master. Might as well just turn like what's his name, Cliff. Let's get Cliff in there and give him 3 anthropomorphized books and send him
Yeah.
on his way. And one of them voiced by Patrick Stewart, one of them voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know who voiced the third
Yeah.
guy, but
Christopher Lloyd, or
Was it
was
Christopher
no, he
Lloyd?
was the
he was the librarian.
the
Remember that one?
librarian. Yeah, you're right.
There was adventure, fantasy, and horror as the books. And see, Benzi, objection. No, it's utter lack of anything to let you know where it is vast universe of made up crap and character lands and the intersectionality sphere, otherwise known as the black hole of logic. Absolutely. Sean Gordon Murphy need an editor. This makes no
Yeah.
sense. I don't care about this pitch, Sean Gordon Murphy. I like his videos. I like what he has to say, where he's all about respecting the customer and all that stuff. But don't like this pitch. It's not very interesting. Plot holes, not very interesting. Not very interesting to me. Lost pages, that sounds cool. Lost pages, that has the
Thanks, man.
inherent air of mystery. Like it has like this inherent sense of mystery to it. Let me see here. Lost pages.
Yeah, but
Let me see
it
here.
was kind of hard to come up with that title too. I was, racking my brain about it, but I think it works. It's concept that we've had for a little bit, all starting with that one silhouette character, and it just grew. The world grew and grew. So lots of world building there for sure.
Yeah, at least going by from what I can see the passion that you have for these stories and these characters crawl off the page. I don't see a passion here. I see it seems, I don't know about you, but it seems very clinical to me. Here's a pitch. Here's how what makes a difference. So not convinced. The comic takes Philip K. Dick, gives him a blaster, and shoves him into the adventure he's not ready for. What does that mean? Your guy takes a lot of drugs? What does that mean exactly? Can you elaborate? Who the heck is Sean Gordon Murphy? The guy who writes Batman. I want you to notice something. We'll get this real quick. Demon with that sword. What makes me think this? That makes me think of something. Remember that Batman of Shanghai? We need Punisher of Saitama. That'll be interesting. I want to see a samurai Punisher. That'd be really cool,
Ooh.
actually. Samurai Punisher.
Yeah.
Might make that. Let's put the Punisher, but make him a samurai. That'd be interesting. Let's see here. Benzi, whoa! Now you're now shooting at your imaginary friend near 400 gallons of nitroglycerin. Don't do that. Nitroglycerin is very dangerous, especially even for imaginary friends.
Volatile. Yeah.
But so he goes down from here's the pitch. And this should be cool. This should be getting my interest because
Yeah.
the members sound really cool. A manga samurai, samurais are cool. A barbarian tiger, that's two cool things put together.
Yeah.
A kid from a comic strip, not so much. But a vampire assassin, very cool. All these things are really cool.
That's cool.
Well, or most of them. Most of them. The comic book strip kid, I could do without. But everything else, that's really cool. Samurai, the barbarian tiger, a vampire assassin. That sounds very cool, but I'm not interested. It piqued my interest for a minute there because those are inherently cool things. But one thing he does not have, as far as I've seen, this is the end of campaign, and he goes over like
What?
stretch goals and artist edition. Here's
There's
some,
like no art.
yeah. He has a pitch here. Now let's go back to your campaign real quick. And okay,
Yeah,
so
he must have been getting advised from people that have never done Indiegogo's. Like, you see campaigns like that a lot on Kickstarter, and that's the reason they don't get as many readers as what we're doing over on Indiegogo.
yeah, exactly. And I want to keep in mind that your stakes aren't even about the characters dying. Your stakes about the end of the world. The end of the world is something
Yeah.
that we can grasp, as I said, and it's the end of the world. I can easily wrap my brain around that. But Sean Gordon Murphy, he wrapped his whole stakes, the whole sole reason why I would be interested in buying this comic book around, oh no, the characters might die if they lose. Okay.
Yeah, characters that you're not invested in at all.
And you would think that he would do something like this, right? You think he would do something like, here's the manga samurai, for example. Like you have silhouette.
Mhm.
You think he would say, here's a manga samurai. Here's how he looks, and here's the world he comes from, because they're the same thing as you're set up here. They all come from different stories. You would
Yeah.
think you would at least. I mean, you put it more than you really needed to, but it's interesting. It's good that you did. But Sean Gordon Murphy, all he really needed to do was give us maybe one page to allow us to bite our teeth, cut our teeth on these characters. Manga Samurai, I don't know. Imagine if he introduced the vampire assassin like this. He has a vampire assassin, and he didn't capitalize on it. Where is he getting this advice from? If whoever it is, it should be immediately fired. You have a vampire assassin, a tiger barbarian, and a manga samurai. What have you done? Yeah, let us see them. Introduce them at least a little bit. Give them names at the very least. Give them some names. Give them a little back. Even if you for some reason didn't want to put the art there, and you have a whole team. He has a whole team working on this, by the way. Even if you didn't want to put art there, at least give us a name and I don't know, one line of backstory. I don't know. The manga samurai, his name is I don't know. Ogami Ito, the guy from Malone from Cub. He is a manga samurai named Ogami Ito, out for revenge against a very powerful rival family. How hard is that? That sounds cool. That sounds
right. Just little biographies, for sure. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see we have biographies that I threw together, just as fun things for the readers at the bottom of the page. And he could have totally did that with all of his characters.
Stories, sure. Backer goals, heroes. Oh, here they are. How hard would this be for a man like Sean Gordon Murphy? I don't think it'd be
Yeah.
very difficult at all. Just a little box of text right here with, and it's not even a box of text. This is art with text in it. And to
Yeah.
give, I mean, you didn't. If you have this, you didn't actually, in my opinion, you actually need the pages. I'm glad you have them, but you could just add this on
Mhm.
here, and this is all you need. This is interesting. But John Gordon Murphy didn't even have this. It's just manga samurai, barbarian tiger, and vampire assassin, all very cool, but that's all they are. It's just vampire assassin. Okay, interesting. Can I know a little bit more before I buy your book?
Yeah.
I don't know, vampire
Yeah.
assassin. What if we made him? What if we made him Blade from Marvel's Blade? We made him like a daywalker who hunts other assassins. One line. It's all I'm asking for. I don't think I'm asking for too much here.
Oh, sure. When you're doing these campaigns, you're building a relationship with your fans and the readers. So you want to grab them and give them something cool to look at, so they have something to anticipate. Because they're waiting. They're waiting a few months for our book. So I want them to be thinking about these characters the whole time. You put out those updates all the time, and what's going on with the book, new pages, just to keep them enthralled in your world, because I'm so excited about it. I want my readers to be just as excited about it, so they could, being waiting on the edge of their seat to get their book in the mail.
Exactly. I mean, this is they need something to chew on mentally. And like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
For example, I mean, most of the CG books I've bought, they have that. They have. I mean, they vary in quality because some are just
Hmm.
learning, and it's not nothing on them. You have there's a learning curve here, but uh,
Of course. Yeah.
pretty even those they have a little nugget of something interesting you can chew on mentally. Like, oh, that makes you excited. Oh, finally, I'm going to get this book. I can't wait to get it in the mail. Nothing about this gets me that excited. It is plot holes. It's quirky. It's a little what your boy Zach calls wine on humor. Oh, you call it plot holes in there. They're from different stories, and you fix plot holes. Isn't that silly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's silly. uh, but that's all it is. It doesn't get me interested in. I don't know about anyone else, but it doesn't get me interested. And believe it or not, but contrary to popular belief, I'm not actually that harsh of a critic. Just give me something. Just give me any old thing. Okay, not Gordon Ramsay levels of necessity here. I'll just more or less I'm the guy who wants to eat the takeout stuff. Just give me some just let's take out, and I'll eat it. I'll eat it right up. Very easy critic of you. I mean, very easy to entertain, but this doesn't meet my very low standards. Now, when I put it under critical eye, of course, the standards are raised immensely because it's not it stops being subjective and goes to objectivity, and those are two different things.
Yeah.
And I personally have I like things that are flawed. I like seeing the flaws in things. So I like B movies. I
Yeah.
like for example, I can't it's hard for me to watch a one of those like kung fu movies or whatever without bad lip syncing. This is not complete for me. It's not a real kung fu movie, a real Eastern movie unless it has bad lip syncing. I just love it.
Yeah. I hear that.
But plot holes, this gives me nothing. It's quirky, yeah, but it tells me absolutely nothing. You have to come over here. So for example, when you just say lost pages, it sounds mystical. It sounds like it gives you kind of an
Thank
idea
you.
what's
Yeah.
going on. You hear Jawbreaker's Lost Souls. That sounds cool. That sounds like it's going to be a rough and tumble. It has a very masculine feel to it. It has testosterone right there in the name. Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog. It's a
Yeah.
cyberfrog. It's very very easy to grasp. Plot holes. It sounds like a book about how to write. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's really odd choice. He's not really drawing the stuff he excels at, like cars, motorcycles. When we see him on Batman White Knight, it's
Yeah.
riddled with that. He's offering a $200 Skype call with him, which is a very like corporate, mechanical. There's no passion in that, because we do it all the time. Like, you can come to my channel at Zaid
Yeah.
Comics and you can see me streaming. You can ask me questions. You can watch me interviewing other creators constantly. But doing that is very something someone on Kickstarter would do. And there's also no video. I know a lot of people. Some people don't do videos, but I think putting trailers in there is, especially the way that we're doing it over in CG. A lot of my buddies are doing it, and what we have for the Lost Pages video. It's another way to show off your creativity. I don't like this like very sterile videos of you. You know, you have your artist being like, "Hi, I'm so and so from DC, and I'm doing this thing." And you know, I like seeing the creativity behind the creator when they do like trailers. If you want to watch the trailer later, we can do that too. It's pretty fun.
You know what? You know what else he doesn't have here? He doesn't have a trailer.
Mhm.
I click on
Yeah.
this. No trailer. It's just an image. Now you don't have to have a trailer, but it does help a lot. At least the audience a little bit more. It makes them feel more as if they know you a little bit more. It's kind of like what Ethan Van Sciver always says is why he streams every day. Gives you a little bit more connection to the audience. But one thing, the big superstar Sean Gordon Murphy trailer, you think he would have at least one of
He
his
could have paid someone to make it too.
yeah,
You know?
really easily. I mean, he doesn't even need that. He could have done like a your boy Zach style trailer where he just talks for 30 minutes about how he went down and then and then 15 minutes in he starts talking about his comic book. He could at least done that.
Yeah.
So your boy Zach and his all due respect his rambly talks or something for 10 minutes, and now the gym is closed. Now he's annoyed that the pizza has the wrong type of Parmesan cheese or something. It's better than what Sean Gordon Murphy has.
Yeah. We actually, I don't know if you watched our trailer yet, but there's a trailer for the Lost Pages on that page as well.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get to that in a second. So let me go ahead and switch things up here. Rocket Sailors for $1.99. Plot parody comic. Oh, it kind of does, isn't it? Very unfortunate, Sean Gordon Murphy. Let's see here. Lost Pages. Here we go. Make sure we shut the audio. You always got to remember.
That's right.
I'm gonna check it out.
The Lost Pages in the minds and hands in their connected universe of heroes, with a cover by legendary illustrator Simon Bisley. The Lost Pages is the story of a magical book in the hands of a homeless man lost to time, of heroes from different eras and walks of life, all protecting humanity from evil. As the word of the book is spoken around a trash fire, new crusaders of justice will be revealed to this world. A supernatural vigilante on the hard streets of Chicago named the Silhouette. An ancient sorcerer battling horrific myth on the high seas known as Wildcard. A modern-day mental monster from the mind of a bodybuilder babe, Crimstone. And a pulp hero from the 1930s, a master of disguise donning the mask of the Masquerade. This is just the beginning, for in the future these heroes and write the end of the world. But for now, the ink of life flows on every page. Will you be there to read it? Only on Indiegogo. Only on Indiegogo.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Barry Bend, Reed Knight, Ray Arth, XXX, Holy Holic, and Subasa. Reservoir Chronicles. Interesting. If there's anything like a Samurai Execution or something, that would be really we're cutting out a little bit. Hopefully they got to watch the trailer. Let's see here. Dying on stream, there's nothing we can do with torture. Hopefully it's fixed now. Hopefully it's fixed at least a little bit now. Let's see.
Yeah, thanks everybody in the chat that is digging it. Nep Champion says it sounds great. Yeah, it's we're putting a lot into it. We can't believe we got this far this soon. It's only been just over a week, and we're almost beating what we made on Magic Cop. So if we get to our next stretch goal, it adds more story to that bonus comic. It's awesome. Like we're so happy that we're able to throw something together like this that we're so passionate about. So definitely check it out, everybody.
I don't know what it is, but it's a very recent trend of StreamYards knowing that we're watching a trailer and then just making it lag. It like normal videos
Yeah.
work. Lag. It's just I don't know what happens with StreamYards, but StreamYards knows that we're watching a trailer and just makes it
Oh,
lag for some reason.
in the chat here, Vicky said I like the black flag tag in the background of the first pages. Yeah, I'm glad you caught that. Dan Frega is a really good friend of mine, and I've met him through YouTube, been on his show all the time, and he helped us out a lot. And I threw that in there as a little homage to him. And if you guys do get the book, one of the stretch goals was to unlock a trading card drawn by Dan Frega. He's drawing our Crimstone character, that big 90s hulking badass. So that's already unlocked. You're going to get a trading card for him by Dan Frega. You're going to get a wild card trading card. You're going to get a Masquerade trading card by Passion for Drawing. So we want all of you guys to know these characters fully and have some sick art from amazing artists to collect these trading cards for. So just like if you just buy the base tier, you're getting so much more content because of the stretch goals.
Awesome. As the whole he invented the whole stretch goal idea. Uh,
Oh yeah.
No, he actually didn't. But he thinks he did. I think he's like, well, we got so much money here. We're going to everything. Isn't that an
Yeah.
interesting idea? Oh, interesting. I'm glad you thought of it. Rockin' Sailors for $1.99. Appreciate that. Aren't enough Eldritch Horror good guys? Respect. Interesting. Awesome. Yeah, we need some more. Tug has that a little bit, as far as I can see. I think his character in the comic book is a little like part Eldritch Horror, and I know Little Umbrella Girl. She's like a Cthulhu-esque Lovecraftian. But we need more. It'd be really interesting.
That's good you guys talk about that. And I haven't really said this, but there's going to be a glimpse of a little that in this story, in the hobo story. Actually, I haven't showed anything, and I'm not going to show it. And it's kind of a big thing in the book, so I don't want to spoil anything. But there's some of that in there.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can't wait till it all comes out, and
Yeah.
it's going to be, from what I can tell, way better presented and a lot more passion is going into it than something developed by Sean Gordon Murphy at the moment. I think he
I
should have just
appreciate that.
gone. I think Sean Gordon Murphy should have stuck with superheroes. Just make his own superhero.
Yeah.
And then go with that. I have no idea why he went with this weird concept called plot holes. He's known for doing Batman. I think it'd be, at least for his first, if you really want to do plot project, people come to him for Batman. They want it for superheroes, not for whatever plot holes is. He probably would have done, because he was anticipating $500,000. He's now stuck at what, 165,000, which is really good. It's really good,
Really
but
good,
he claimed he was going to make, I don't know, $500,000. That's what he said. Really easy. He might have done that if he, stuck with the superhero idea. So let's see here. But I wanted to cover this. I thought it was really interesting nonsense.
Yes.
Apparently, they're going to remake the Looney Tunes, but they're going to quote update it for a modern audience. Everyone.
And you weak ass fat beard cucks who let these bitches come in here and make it unhospitable. Tell the fans that they're Nazis if they don't like their characters being destroyed.
Oh yeah,
couldn't have said it better, Uncle Lee.
They're going to ruin it. So here's what's going to happen: Looney Tunes remake will see Elmer Fudd without his rifle, as creators declare we're not doing guns. Why not? What is Elmer Fudd without? He's a hunter. What is he going to use? They're going to give him a bow and arrow instead.
I think what I heard is they're doing rabbit traps. He's a trapper now.
Traps?
Yeah, humane rabbit traps.
That's not Elmer Fudd. That's no fun. You know how much fun we had in Looney Tunes with that rifle, and how much how many gags he pulled off the rifle, like the famous where he pulls pulls his finger in the end of the rifle and explodes in Elmer Fudd's face, that sort of thing. That's really funny. But no, we have to have these weak soy boy people come in and ruin everything. But also, they're remaking Looney Tunes, like the regular Looney Tunes.
The obvious question is, why did we do this?
Yeah, I'd like to know, why did we do this? Why are they doing this? Why are they remaking Looney Tunes? We need to update Looney Tunes for a modern audience. That's what they did with Star Wars. And we got Disney Star Wars sequels. And look how that turned out. Not the most promising future when you start messing with things that work and making them not work anymore because you're making them updated for a modern audience. Could we stop this? Could you stop making things for a quote unquote modern audience? Like this modern audience style, you could say?
What the hell's with you? You can't even write, and you think you have a style.
Yeah, they can't even write. People can't even write. They think they have a style. They think they're doing some moral grandstanding or something. It's just a cartoon gun. See, Alex Hale, thank you too. Appreciate that. They gave him a scythe, a gardening tool. I think a scythe is more family friendly than a gun. A scythe, the tool of death.
Yeah, horrific.
These people are insane. Maggio de Paolo, there has already been a new Looney Tunes show out, though this is still confusing because Elmer is, well, he's an old fashioned like that. The fox. I'm going to go out there and shoot some foxes sort of hunter. That's what kind of hunter he is. He's not this humane rabbit traps. That's not fun.
Yeah, it's not comical either. Like the gun blowing up in his face, that's comedy. Him accidentally getting shot or whatever. And the high, with the shotgun, you could do like high paced action stuff. It's perfect for cartoons. Bending the barrel, how many times have they done that? Twisting it into a knot.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with traps? I mean, he gets trapped one time and then the gag is over.
They kind of built his legacy. I kind of formed Elmer Fudd's legacy on that rifle because there's so many gags associated now. I mean, MythBusters did a whole into the rifle thing gag. It doesn't work that way, but it does in cartoons. But it was so recognizable. It became such a recognizable gag that it made to MythBusters. See, Christopher Cole, but Elmer Fudd wasn't always a big with the rifle. That's true. But to be fair, but they're taking away. It was completely that stupid. Yeah, I think Elmer Fudd was originally a fat Fudd. There was a fat Elmer Fudd. I think he had like 4 episodes or something.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
He was a regular guy in that one, and then they kind of slimmed him down, and he became a hunter. So he didn't start off with a rifle, but he did eventually develop the rifle and kind of made the rifle and the suit and the hat. Like Elmer Fudd's he's also not the same without the hat either. I can't put them all together because without the hat, he's some bald guy. It's a generic bald guy.
It's a fat head.
But it makes him his outfit and his rifle, all of that stuff makes him unique. It makes him Elmer Fudd. There's Elmer Fudd visually in our eyes. But so they're gonna pull his gun away. They're gonna take his guns away because they want to be more sensitive for a modern audience. Poor Elmer Fudd. He has to fall into the hands of the woke. Criminal imagination, much of the fire. Appreciate that. We hate guns. Let's use something that can slice anything in half. Yeah, exactly. How about instead of a gun? Because that's we give him a scythe, the literal tool of death. Well, I guess metaphorical because it's not literal death. It's metaphorical depiction of death. Okay, it's a personified depiction of death. So now Elmer Fudd is going to be either using the same tool as the depiction of death, or he's just going to be like a watered down Wile E. Coyote.
Yep.
One of these avenues. Neither of them are very Elmer Fudd.
Well, if you look at characters and characterization when you're creating like basic characters for anything, you want their outfits to be simple and recognizable, have attributes that you can recognize. So if I took a circle and then made the circle brown, put the hat on top of that circle and put his shotgun in front of it, everyone would know that's a circle that represents Elmer Fudd because those are his basic characteristics. And that is the genius of character creation from back in the day with cartoons. You could do that with The Simpsons. You could do that with Mortal Kombat characters. You could do a blue circle with a mask, that represents Sub-Zero, right? So that's what I
Yeah.
tried to do with the Lost Pages. Wild Card, he has white hair with a red and black stripe in it, and he's got this magical tattoo on his arm. He lives throughout different ages. He could be dressed as a pirate, he could be dressed as a cowboy, but those attributes on him are going to make him recognizable as Wild Card in every different story. So you're pulling that his personality off of him when you get rid of this shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. It's recognizable. That's part of Elmer Fudd's whole character. Um, I know some people have probably played the game Final Fantasy VII. Uh, it's a similar situation with Cloud. His Buster Sword. It's iconic. He's iconic with that Buster Sword. Take that away from him,
Yep.
and he loses a little bit of his character. I mean, you can probably take it away from him in the game, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't remember, but his Buster Sword is iconic. It's part of his character. Cloud's sword is a character. Now, there's other characters in there what was his name? Titus or Titus or whatever his name is. Now, he doesn't really have an iconic sword, so to speak. He has that blue sword that he gets on the cover, but he doesn't have an iconic sword. So he's not. You can give him whatever sword you want, and it won't really matter. But Cloud, he's iconic for that Buster blade, that Buster sword. This like Elmer Fudd is iconic
Yeah.
for his rifle, and
Yep.
I think they fail to understand that this is a cartoon. This is not a real. It's not a real rifle. No rifle will blow up in the fire. The person who's firing it, they won't blow up in your face because the other guy plugged the end with your finger. It doesn't work that way. Uh, it's not a real rifle. It's a cartoon rifle. And it's Looney Tunes. You can do whatever you want with it. For some reason, suddenly they say it's fiction for some things, but suddenly they kind of forget about that when it comes to guns. Let's see here. Dr. Crow, thank you much for the 999. Coyote is the trap guy. Keep it that way. Yeah, Coyote is the guy. Wile E. Coyote is the guy we know always putting up these elaborate traps and these elaborate schemes
Yep.
and things. And they're going to make Elmer Fudd a trapper. He's just going to become Wile E. Coyote after a while. What is he going to do? How many cartoons can they make where Elmer Fudd lays down a humane rabbit catching trap? How many scenarios can you
Yeah, they've
possibly do with
already
that?
done those gags, man. That's used up.
It was funny because he could do so many things with the rifle. It goes off, and he misses. Maybe sometimes the bullets make funny shapes or something. I don't know, but they could do so many things with it, and they did. But after that, he's just going to become like a human Wile E. Coyote.
Yep.
Market sales for the 99. Woke creators seem to just love traps, sweet traps. They do love their traps.
Oh
don't
no.
they?
Oh no.
Let's see. Saul Galvez, thank you much for the 50. Looney Tunes is being adapted into the 2020 friendly funny songs. Sounds dumb, maybe because it is. I should rename the whole thing. Just name it funny songs. Not even funny songs, actually. Just name it quirky songs. That's what they actually are. Just trying to be quirky all over the place. Let's see here. Thank you much for that. Appreciate it. Let's see. Christopher Cole. Elmer Fudd has been a prospector. He's been an artist. He's been a character in yeah, he has been. He was a hunter. He's a spear and magic helmet. Got my spear and magic helmet, and he carried a spear in that one. Yeah. These things are true. But there's also this criteria of this whole idea of it's kind of like that episode in Star Trek Next Generation where there is a whole episode where Picard kind of goes to see his brother, and it breaks from the usual norm. It's very refreshing because it breaks from the usual norm. But then it goes back, the very next episode, he's out in space again doing his Picard thing. To me, these episodes with Elmer Fudd, where he's like an artist and he's like a Wagnerian opera singer,
Yeah.
these are sort of that same scenario where it's kind of a break from the status quo. We get a little break from the status quo of him being a hunter hunting, Bugs Bunny, and that also goes to show that, yeah, how many episodes can they put where he's humanely setting down traps? They're going to have to do just that. They're going to have to put in shows or put in episodes where they break from the norm and explore different ideas, like Stone Age Elmer Fudd putting down humane traps or something. It's interesting how to see how it goes, but that rifle has slowly become kind of iconic to Elmer Fudd, and also only with his favorite line, "Very very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits." And see, Ben Z, thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. We will hunt as the great magic wizard King Marks intended all worthy to do with his hands. That'd be interesting. They made Elmer Fudd. They took away his gun and he just kind of strangles everything to death. Far more humane. Let's see here. Alex Taylor, thank you too. Appreciate that. Traps belong to us otakus. None shall take them. Yeah, too bad about that. Looney Tunes. The otakus have claimed all the traps. Unfortunately for you. As a demon with that sword, one of the most charming jokes in Looney Tunes was how over the top and unnecessarily lethal the traps were. Especially in Wile E. Coyote's case, where he's using rockets and bombs and stuff. Is he Hatch 450SX? Same much with 5. Appreciate that. Zaid, I really want to back it, but I can't stand the sight of half cut hair women anymore. Any reason why you chose that? Oh, I guess the haircut of one of the characters.
Yeah. So yeah, the chick that is with Crimstone.
Honestly,
so her hair is not
I feel the
actually
same
half.
way. That's why I didn't back your boy Zach's plague book. Like I don't.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the haircut.
Yeah.
The haircut throws me off.
So let me explain the haircut. It's not actually half cut. She actually, she's Native American, and her origins go back to the Mohawk tribe. So she has the sides of her head shaved to represent that. And I actually have a kind of cool panel here from one of the stories in the bonus comic. So if you guys pick up the bonus comic as well, you'll see this story. It's not colored yet, but you see the beautiful pencils and inks. And her in kind of like her hero outfit, she wears these sunglasses that go over her head. So you kind of get that mohawk shape, as well as when she's crime fighting, she'll wear the mask over her mouth, the mouth that you guys could get. So I totally understand that. It kind of irks me as well, but this is kind of towards her cultural origins, and we don't harp on it. It's kind of something that lives in the background and makes up the makeup of the character. So I kind of wanted to introduce that because I dig mohawks, and the actual big guy, Krim, he's got this mohawk made of smoke as well. So hopefully that explains it and allows you to pick up a copy because I think she's pretty cool.
I think as long as she's not woke, we'll be fine.
Oh no. Yeah, no, she's punching badasses in the face. She's getting beat up too, and she's got her toxically masculine counterpart as well. Like, look at this action, man. Woo!
It looks really good. It looks really violent and full of testosterone. Fantastic
Yeah,
stuff.
all this blood. No, this is definitely an homage to those ultra-violent comics. Yeah, and they both ride motorcycles, so badass motorcycles.
Not in a gay way or anything.
No, of course not.
Yeah, it goes without saying.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks.
Let's see. Rocket Tail is for the 499. Appreciate that. Total missed opportunity to make Elmer Fudd a gun nut parody. Like, imagine him as and Yosemite Sam pulling up and having an exaggerated mounted gun. Oh, that'd be really interesting. You could see Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam kind of being friends. Like they're both really into the gun culture and stuff. Yosemite Sam and they just have like it talks shop. Have you seen some of those shows where those gun shows they talk about or have you seen John Wick where he talks about how the details of the guns and stuff like that? I could see Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam just having a conversation like that, and they come in with like these modded guns to fight. I don't know, Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny or something.
That would be awesome.
I hate that rabbit. What's his name? Elmer Fudd comes in with he describes it like just an Austrian blend with the. Pretty fantastic. I think they made like a didn't DC do a crossover with Looney Tunes where they had Elmer Fudd fight Batman or something?
Yeah, that was a huge book. Like it won awards and stuff. I didn't get a chance to read it, but it sold out really quick. I think Tom King wrote it, um, and everybody liked it. So it must have only been like 16 pages because if that guy writes more than than 16 pages, he just ruins the whole story. He makes it all crybaby woke stuff.
Yeah.
But the other one that they did that I actually liked is because I'm such a huge Lobo fan. They did Lobo meets Wile E. Coyote, which was pretty wacky and fun.
I kind of heard some really unflattering things about Tom King.
Yeah. He does
uh,
this like word soup, this mush of dialogue that is just no one speaks like that, man. I was a big fan of his run on Mr. Miracle because I love the character. I like what he did with the characters at the beginning. I thought the action was cool, the drama during the big war, but towards the end, it just fell apart so hard, and there was no payoff with anything. Sorry.
no problem. Yeah, and I heard
I'm back.
the whole your boy Zach. He loved that comic book with the Elmer Fudd versus Batman. He loved
Yeah.
it. Absolutely loved it. So that's why I remember that one. That's the only one I know. I know they did a few more, but I know the only one I know about, the only one I remember is the Elmer Fudd versus Batman. Fantastic. I want to kind of see that, and that kind of reminds me of with that super chat with it, where where Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd get together and they start having modded gun discussions and stuff. That'd be really interesting, and it reminded me of that comic book where he fights
Yeah,
Batman. That's
it
it.
is.
Elmer Fudd versus Batman.
And he's got a shotgun. Look at that.
Yeah, he's got a shotgun
They
there
didn't take that out.
because they knew Elmer Fudd had a shotgun, and he still has the rest of his outfit. He's just like more realistic looking. That's the only real change there.
Look
He
at
he got the hat. He got the outfit. He's ready to go. He's like hunting the most dangerous game.
that. Yeah.
Very
Warner
gentleman.
Brothers was all about that stuff. So and they always changing their minds.
Very gentlemanly. See, Ben Z, thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. Remember, kids, if it's made of an Acme. Remember, kids, if it's made of Acme products, you will have the greatest collection of inventions that almost work. A guarantee to almost work in every occasion. Oh, that umbrella guy. Hey there, says that umbrella guy. Where, hey, that umbrella guy.
Yo,
Welcome, welcome.
hey, Tug, what's up, brother?
Let's see. Okay. I'm going to take this back to Elmer Fudd for a second here.
Yes.
Let's see. Looney Tunes. Okay, so Elmer Fudd is still hunting wabbits, but now he hasn't got a waifu. He hasn't got a waifu either.
Oh
The
my
Looney
God.
Tunes cartoons, Looney Tunes cartoons have been remade for Looney Tunes cartoons have been remade for a modern audience, and Fudd is no longer allowed to have a gun. Now, Warner Bros. Has commissioned a new animated series featuring the classic characters, including Bugs Bunny, which sticks close to the spirit of the originals. But viewers may notice a difference between when it comes to Fudd, whose catchphrase was "Shh, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits." In response to U.S. gun violence, the showrunners will not include firearms in Fudd's arsenal. This is not to say that he
Wow.
has given up hunting Bugs Bunny, though he just uses a scythe instead. Yeah,
What Jesus.
it's way more
That
brutal.
escalated quickly.
What kind of scythe? Is it a one-hand scythe? Or is it going to be like the scythe of death, where he has a two-handed scythe?
He has a hood too and a skeleton hand.
Oh, it's not even over yet. Okay, so apparently a shotgun is too violent, but he's going to use a scythe, sticks of dynamite, anvils on the head,
What?
and booby traps, like bear traps and stuff. I'm guessing, but no
Oh
guns.
my
You
God.
got to draw the line at guns, chat.
So he doesn't want to kill the rabbit, right? He wants to maim the rabbit so it can't walk, and the rest of its life is horrid.
exactly. So that's fine. Shotguns, no, where it can die in where the Bugs Bunny would die instantly. Would it be real? And it's not. It's a cartoon, and we had so many funny gags with that shotgun. But
Yep.
instead, they thought, well, you know what? There's gun violence going around. We can't do that. So instead, let's give Elmer Fudd a scythe. Where he just it's implied that we can clearly see that he hacks Bugs Bunny to death if he hits him with it. Like there's no like a shooting Bugs. There's no shooting Daffy Duck point blank in the face, and then having his bill be on the back of his head. You can't do that with a scythe.
Nope.
You hit Daffy Duck point blank face with a scythe. His head comes off, like his face just slices off. It's not going to work that way. His bill just goes flying with blood everywhere. How do you have a gag with a scythe? And and there's dynamite, anvils on the head, and booby traps. Can't be too violent now. Got to get rid of all the guns, but you can keep dynamite and anvils and booby traps. I can give them waterboarding too. They can do that. How about bamboo shoots under the fingernails? That's not a gun.
Yeah. Oh,
Might as well. He's using anvils and dynamite. Might as well.
He's gonna do the car battery to the testicles, right?
Yeah, something like that. Or I saw this one movie where a guy like slices open a guy's nerve in his leg and pours battery acid on it. Is he going to do that too? That's not a gun.
What are you watching?
I forgot which movie it was. It was pretty brutal.
Hardcore. Cool.
Nancy, Ben Z, thank you much for the 5. Appreciate that. I want to know how the hell people like this wake up and they're born possessed, or like, how does he not see how utterly lack of common sense he is? I have no idea. What it's like. The guns are too violent, so we're just going to give him a scythe, a literal tool of death. Okay, we're going to give him a scythe, and we're going to have him threaten to hack Bugs Bunny to pieces with it. As he rocking St. Louis for $9.99, he's using a sickle and a hammer. Comrades, that's why they gave him a scythe. I'm probably going to give him a hammer, an anvil, and a scythe. A sickle, a hammer and sickle. This to prove how communist they are. Might as well give Elmer Fudd like a red outfit too. And let's see here. Howard President, are people that's really that stupid? Apparently. The Disney Star Wars trilogy exists. So the answer to that is obviously yes. Let's see, Nico Tioto. Don't forget your RPG when humanely hunting. Yeah, it's not a gun. It's just it's a rocket propelled grenade. It's not a gun. I guess. Gotta keep it humane. Chat. Okay. So take away Elmer Fudd's gun for an update to the modern audience. Well, I guess the way they're going to appeal to the modern audience is pretend the modern audience is all made up of literal children and people who are mentally subnormal. They can't handle this. This is made for children in the first place. Add a gun, did nothing. They had people get drunk. They had beer and stuff in these things. Didn't mess anyone up as far as I know. Demon of that sword. Thanks for $9.99. Scythe. They're clearly spitting the producers. The the scythe. Yes, the scythe. They're clearly spitting the producers. Spying the producers. Yeah, I think so. I think they are spying the producers with that scythe thing. I mean, what, a scythe, really? They could have given like a cross. They had bows and arrows in other Looney Tunes cartoons. They could have given
for sure.
They could have given Elmer Fudd easily like a compound bow. If they didn't. They
crossbow even.
Yeah, crossbow. That could have worked.
Yeah,
too.
that would be perfect.
If they're so dead set against him having a gun, there's some really funny gags you could do with bows and arrows and crossbows. I don't know how much fun you can get from a scythe. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. I just want to see Elmer Fudd with a scythe and like a black cloak or something. That'd be perfect. He's so much more dreadful and it'll be less fun and more doom. And more ominous. He's going to be less quirky little hunter who can't shoot anything and cries and needs Bugs Bunny to feel sorry for him because he can't kill Bugs Bunny. And more of an agent of death. So we'll see what happens.
Agent of Death. Elmer Fudd, Agent of Death.
As they're turning him into, it's gonna be like
Yeah.
what's his name? Is his name is like Fudd his middle name? Is his last name like his full name Elmer Fudd Wick? This is gonna go just go killing all kinds of animals with his scythe.
I pay to see that.
Hunting the rabbit with a rifle is bad, but let's give them the holy hand grenade of Antioch. This is just give them the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Grenades are fine, apparently. I guess because it's not a gun, it just blows things up. And he's willing to use dynamite. Alex Halo, no guns, but TNT is okay. Yes, apparently so. Apparently so. No guns, but dynamite, fantastic.
Yeah, dismember them with explosives. Why not?
Pretty much, just blow them to pieces. Well, how is he
blow those
going
ears
to?
off.
Is he trying to kill Bugs Bunny out of revenge now? Because I always thought that Elmer Fudd was trying to, kill Bugs Bunny because it's rabbit season.
And eat him, right?
What?
He wants to eat him, right?
Yeah, he wants to eat him. That's what I thought he wanted to do. I thought he wanted to eat Bugs Bunny because it's rabbit season, and rabbit season is in. It's like it's rabbit season, so he wants to kill him.
Yeah. You know, Lit Dev, no one really realizes this, but the rabbit tastes the best with a sliced jugular, for sure. Yeah.
You're drinking all the blood out of it. How do you think it tastes blown up with dynamite?
Yeah, you're right.
I guess that's how Elmer Fudd wants to prepare it. He wants to not only kill Bugs Bunny, he wants to cook him at the same time.
Yeah, it's the quickest way.
Let's see. Interesting stuff to go over. Let's see here. Here's one thing that caught my eye. Rumor has it that all the worst people are being brought in for a secret project. Let's see here.
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto. They're bringing back Jared Leto and Ben Affleck for a Superman project. Secret, original Batman project. Not Superman project. Batman project on HBO Max. So I don't know what they're going to do. I'm pretty sure Jared Leto will settle for nothing less than being the Joker again. I'm pretty sure he thinks that. I'm pretty sure he has that obsessive, narcissistic personality where everyone says you did the worst Joker impression ever. You did the worst portrayal of Joker is now played by Jared Leto. You're like, oh, those are all the haters. They just can't understand me. They just can't understand what I'm doing or everything I did, all the mistakes I did were intentional or something like that. Some sort of level of arrogance.
Instead of humbling herself, she was proud of her insufficiency.
Yeah, instead of humbling himself, he's probably going to be proud of his insufficiencies as the Joker.
Yeah.
So Cajun Bowser, the Witcher 2, dude, at least give Elmer Fudd a crossbow. Yeah, exactly. If you can't have a gun, fine, but give him like a compound bow, or I don't know. I would settle for a regular bow, like a medieval English longbow or something. Crossbow, something like that. He needs something, not a scythe. I think the scythe is exactly the wrong thing to give him. Noble Commando, welcome. I want to see a gag where Bugs Bunny gets gibbed by a grenade. No, that'd be a hilarious gag. That'd be a literal gut-busting laugh. Hatch 450SX in Witcher 2. Leto was a good Joker in a terrible movie. I didn't like him. It was a pretty bad movie, but I also think that Leto was a pretty bad Joker. I think he was just too pretentious with it. I think he was too full of himself with it. Unfortunately, I wanted it to be good. Joaquin Phoenix, I think, played a really good rendition. I like the movie. I like that movie though, the Joker movie. I say Christopher Cole. The only thing more disturbing than Elmer Fudd being without the rifle is admiration for grilled cheese sandwiches. Reference to Looney Tunes show. I guess what is Elmer Fudd get a strange liking for grilled cheese sandwiches? That'd be perfect. John Doe, original Batman character, not steal. Don't steal, Chad. Don't you dare steal these quote unquote original Batman characters. So let's see here. Rumor has it that Ben Affleck, Jared Leto, and Joe Manganiello
Manganiello. Yeah.
wanted for original Batman project on HBO Max. So let's see how this goes. You know, how many Batman projects are in the works right now? I know there's another one with that guy from Twilight.
Well, I think that he's getting pulled because he didn't want to work out for the role, and he
Are
wasn't
they,
taking it seriously.
are they going to pull him for that
So
reason?
well, there's he came out. He's like, working out for roles is sexist, and I shouldn't have to do that. So he was being a whiny, incel about it. It seemed, and it sounds like there's rumors going on that they're gonna reformat it with a new actor. And Ben Affleck coming back to this stuff, it seems interesting and weird that they're doing that as well. So I don't know.
Oh, that's true. If they're firing him because he refused to work out, that's great. Let's take that. You know, he was all pretentious about it. I think he was just lazy. I think he was just lazy. He just
Yeah.
wanted to work out.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
You're getting paid a lot of money to play Batman. You work
Mhm.
out. Okay, you work out. Okay, reported previously a rumor that AT&T and Warner Brother Media want Ben Affleck back in the cape and cowl in the wake of Snyder Cut announcement. It only gets juicier this week. The Cultured Nerd now reports their sources have confirmed the corporation. I think the corporate nerd is a source that Bounty into Comics often goes to, and I think they went to the same corporate nerd source, the Cultured Nerd, not corporate nerd, but Cultured Nerd, the same Cultured Nerd source for the Lord of the Rings TV show leaks that the Amazon's putting together Lord of the Rings TV show. I think they
Yeah.
put Cultured Nerd for these sorts of leaks and stuff. So let's see. Original Batman project. They say Warner Brothers is committed to Matt Reeves, the Batman trilogy. That's been the plan up to now, but as nothing is stopping them, they wish to pursue a miniseries or DC film on HBO Max. That'd be interesting. They add Affleck's project will likely follow the intended storyline teased by the post-credits scene of Justice League or Zack Snyder's Justice League. That sounds interesting. I guess that's one reason why they put Ben Affleck's Batman back in here. But they really have to bring back Jared. Do they really have to bring back Jared Leto's Joker? Is that absolutely necessary?
Yeah,
think-
that's really weird. It's cool that they're bringing in Deathstroke because he did so well in that Titans show. He was in the second season. He was like the main antagonist, and he looked really cool. And Joe Manganiello, I like him as an actor. He's pretty cool. He's banging Sofia Vergara. They're married, so all about that.
Awesome. I think he works out, doesn't he?
Oh
think he
yeah,
works
for
out?
sure.
Yeah, he worked
Yeah,
out.
he's a
for these
man.
things.
He's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't whine about having to do his job. He just did.
No.
He just did his job.
Yeah.
As you getting paid millions of dollars and complaining that you had to work out, getting paid to play Batman and complaining that you had to work out. You're living people's dreams. You're living people's childhood dreams, but it's going to be canonical instead of playing pretend. Work out. What's so bad about
Yes,
working
please.
out? It's my style to work out.
Shut up! Romeo's crying. Fucking assholes!
Let's see here. Hatch 450 section, which is 2. Watch Batman animated, then watch only Leto parts. Okay. I could do that. No problem. That'd be interesting. Maybe it was a bad movie. Maybe we'll see what happens. Let's see. A Culture Nerd now reports the sources have confirmed the corporation want Jared Leto and Joe Manganiello as part of the package for a straight to HBO Max original Batman project. Okay. Let's see here. The Warner Brothers HBO Max. They add Affleck's project will likely follow the same as Justice League. Deathstroke actor Joe Manganiello confirmed the original end credits scene on Twitter in May. He was reposting a Variety article covering the announcement of Snyder Cut coming to the aforementioned streaming option. Interesting. Zack Snyder will release the Snyder Cut Justice League on HBO Max. Okay. While the theatrical end credit scene saw Lex Luthor recruited Deathstroke.
Yeah.
The Snyder Cut contains Slade Wilson busting out of prison during a riot and grabbing his gear. Lex pleads with Slade to no avail to spring him too. I think Lex Luthor went kind of crazy in this continuity, didn't he? Kind of like
He's wacky.
yeah. He's like more of a Joker type than a Lex Luthor type. And we're kind of insane.
Mhm.
Affleck's script for the Batman did a deep dive into Arkham Asylum and had the Caped Crusader fighting Deathstroke. Other rogues, including Joker, would have figured in as well. That the one he couldn't crack is likely what Affleck and Warner are in talks to make. Snyder will reportedly return to produce also. Okay. Most of the old pieces look to be back in play, according to this rumor. If Affleck is back in the cowl, then getting Leto and Marginello to reprise the roles of Joker and Deathstroke respectively would be key. Cultured nerd notes. The one in doubt is Leto, who has to be hesitant about doing business with WB again after being burned by them once over Joker. Yeah, I remember that. Jared Leto wanted to be the Joker. He thought he was going to get his own Joker movie, and it didn't turn out to be the case. It was Joaquin Phoenix in the Joker movie. He felt
Yeah, and I think he had more screen time in Suicide Squad, and he was mad about it. That they cut him out.
I heard they had so many more scenes with the Joker available that they could have made a whole Joker movie with those scenes. And he got really mad when he was only in there for about 5 minutes in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And they should have, in my opinion, they should have made Joker the main bad guy of Suicide Squad. They tried to move him in to stop the Joker's plan. That'd be really good because of being in the tension and really feed off that tension and tragedy between Harley Quinn and Joker. What's she going to do? Is she going to stick with her friends in Suicide Squad? Or is she going to go with the love of her life, the Joker? It would a
Right.
really, really big confrontation and really interesting to see where that would go. Despite telling Variety he is open to returning to DC Universe depending on the script, insiders say he was upset by Todd Phillips' Joker wanting to throttle and stop the production. I heard that too. He wanted to sabotage it. Significant mea culpas may be required for another turn as the Clown Prince of Crime by Leto to occur. Before it does, we just hire another actor. Why not just hire someone else? We probably have another guy who can be the Joker. Before it does, we could be treated to the unused footage of him in Suicide Squad through the release of the film's Ayer cut. The fulfillment of Affleck's Batman saga follows reports of Henry Cavill negotiating his regress of the Man of Steel. Similar news regarding Ray Fisher and Cyborg, and release of the Snyder Cut of Justice League, of course. Yeah, I heard about Henry Cavill coming back as Superman also. That's good.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, he played a good Superman as long as you get some competent writers on the staff.
I really hope that this is like a little peek at him coming back and being in a Shazam movie, in the Black Adam, or seeing Superman and Shazam on the same screen would be awesome.
Yeah, speaking of that, I have heard that they actually ever since Cavill said he was coming back as Superman, I did hear that they kind of put a digital version of Cavill's face and head on that little cameo at the end of Captain Marvel or Shazam.
Yeah. I'll have to see that. That's
I
funny.
haven't seen it yet, but I heard they did it. This is next one I really enjoy. So all of the comic book pros, DC comic pros, Marvel comic book pros, for years they've been saying, no, those guys from Comicsgate, those weirdos, they keep saying the industry is dying, but it's not. Everything's fine over here. Comic book sales are more than what we've been selling, more comics more than ever before. We've been making more money than ever before. All that stuff. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's doing great. Unfortunately, ever since they had the whole industry kind of broke away from Diamond, they've had to admit a few things.
That they were lying?
That they were lying this entire time. Who would have guessed? It definitely had to be told that they were lying. Definitely not. We could see that they're lying. Like obviously, like we walked in a room where DC and Marvel were holding a smoking gun with a dead comic book industry body on the floor. And it's like, who did this? Not us.
They're going to sit there and go, it was because of COVID. We don't know what happened. It's just suddenly coming. No. Left-wing activists came in and decided to take over this industry, spit in your faces, and destroy what you loved. Wake up.
Yeah, like, did I do that? No. Yes, you did.
Wake up.
So DC Comics admits comics have sustained stagnant growth. What a friendly way of saying they're dead. Yeah, stagnant. Yeah. If you're stagnant, you're not growing. Okay, they've sustained stagnant growth. They've sustained it. It's a very friendly way of saying that they have sustained death.
Way to tiptoe around that, guys.
Oh yeah, we're not failing. We're just failing to live. Okay, we're just succeeding and dying. Okay, we're not failing. We're succeeding and dying. Okay, that's essentially what they're saying here. In decision to cut ties with Diamond Comics distributors. Okay, so AT&T owned DC Comics. AT&T owned DC Comics admitted to in an email sent to retailers that comics have sustained stagnant market growth. Yeah, you sustain that stagnant market growth, DC. While announcing they will no longer be working with Diamond Comic distributors. I know from Peter Simeti that some retailers, some local comic book shops have, for some reason, gone absolutely bananas over this. They've gone insane because Diamond is no longer because Diamond has lost a monopoly status. And that's something to demonize DC about. I see Christopher Cole. What is sustained stagnant growth? At best, isn't that plateaued? At worst, declining? Yeah. That's what it seems like to me. At the very best, sustained stagnant growth means that they are just they have just plateaued. That's it. They're not growing.
Yeah.
And a business like that, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Nothing that's stagnant is good. Stagnant water houses bacteria and is really good for infection. So it's literally a sign of decay. If you have something that's stagnant like that, is a sign of decay, and it contradicts itself. You can't grow if you're still. Like, those two words are total opposites.
Yeah, I mean, stagnant water harbors bacteria. Stagnant Marvel harbors SJWs. It's kind of like the way things go. Barry Bend, have you seen the game Helltaker? It's taken the game world by storm. I've not heard of it actually. Interesting.
Ooh,
Has the word hell in it, so it must be good.
that's a cool word.
Let's see here. I see emails that details the DC Comics business relationship with Diamond Comics distributors and effective following Diamond's distribution product offered on DC's FOC list of June 1st. The email goes on to state, and in the near term, Diamond will only be fulfilling orders placed through June 1st final order cutoff and will not solicit the sale of DC titles further. Interesting. It adds, to ensure a smooth transition for retailers, DC will suspend final order cutoff for June 8th, making those books available to order on final order cutoff on June 15th. And these are some of the books. Let's see here. They also announced they are committing to having new DC Comics go on sale on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Okay, DC Comics Tuesday on sales. Okay. They explained DC has been analyzing its new direct market distribution for some time, long before COVID, specifically in light of sustained stagnant market growth. Maybe it's because of the YA stuff you're doing. because no one wants to read your garbage anymore.
Oh yeah, man, those are so bad.
Did you ever read Gotham High? It's terrible.
Yeah, did see the overview of it and stuff, man. Whew.
It was pretty bad. It's really self-indulgent. It's self-indulgent nonsense from beginning to end. That's all it is. A total disrespect of pretty much the entire cast of Batman. At least the main cast, like Catgirl, Robin, Batman, all these people, Harvey Dent. It's just a huge. Alfred. Alfred is now no longer the butler, but his uncle that sent him away. That's Alfred now.
Yeah,
That's Alfred now. Thanks, Alfred. Now you're no longer the guy who took in Bruce Wayne when he was hurting him the most. You're now the guy who sent him away. Fantastic. Let's see here. And pretty much they pretty much just, admitted it. They admitted that they were it's their words sustaining stagnant growth. And
they're hurting.
yeah, turns out that the comic book industry wasn't fine. At least not the American comic book industry. As I mentioned, I think in early episodes, it's the American comic book industry that's hurting. Not the French comic book industry is fine. Comicsgate is fine. Manga is fine. In fact, they're booming. It's just American comic book industry. The big two, the American comic books, they're the ones that are failing. They're the ones that are on life support right now. They're the ones that kind of crumbled the moment things went bad. Not too good. Not too good. But there's that. That was pretty interesting. I just thought that was really, really interesting to read because for so long, these weirdos have been, oh, everything's fine. You're all just crazy. Everything's fine.
Right.
You're all just crazy. And now that they've been pushed to this edge of desperation, and forcing them to
Yeah.
switch distributors, they had to come out in an announcement and admit that they are failing.
What we were saying was right the whole time, and that's why us doing these crowdfunding campaigns, like with you with your book, with the book that we're putting out right now, getting the support from these fans that really see what's going on in the comic book industry when they're blatantly lying to us, telling us, "Oh, everything's fine. We're doing better than the last 5 years." The last 5 years, they sucked too. It hasn't been great since the '90s, but us putting out these books online, doing it ourselves, direct to consumer, that's where the future is. And these passionate stories don't come out of the machines anymore, Marvel and DC. They're coming from passionate creators like myself and yourself putting this out, and it's awesome to see the response they're getting from these hardcore fans like your audience, man.
Yeah, it's great for us, for people who want to put out good products. Not so good for people who just want to pump out like corporate nonsense. Here's standard Superman comic again because we need to sell something because no one's buying these things anymore, and we're going to pump it full of mainstream, very safe politics, and we're going to demonize fans, obviously. Alex Hale, thank you much too. Appreciate that. I want to see LD react to the blends anime, yeah, to the blend S anime. Wonder what that is. What is that? Back to the blends anime.
Sounds like some furry stuff, brother.
Zofrats, welcome Zofrats. Hey LD, I just turned in a 133-page paper. I need some nonsense stat. Oh, you finally finished your thesis. Congratulations. Don't worry, still plenty of nonsense to go. Plenty of nonsense. Always plenty. But now we've been vindicated. Everyone who's been telling you the comic book industry was suffering problems, and we've been, to the response of, no, we're doing fantastic. No, we're doing awesome. But please, we need to raise money for all the dying comic book stores. It's not awesome. The comic book industry has been dying for years, and now they're finally forced to admit it. Fantastic stuff.
This was their last breath. It was surely their last breath. That's why everybody's got to come over. Comicsgate's the place to be. Getting these awesome passion projects, because that's what this is. The industry's lost their passion. With me with the Lost Pages, I've been working with these characters since 2011 is when I had the first concept with them, and putting them into poems and short stories. And I'm so passionate about these characters that I just want as many as people to read it and hear what they think and see if they're as passionate as I am about it. That's what it's all about, for sure.
Yeah, it's about passion, and they kind of lost that when it became when you're pumping it when you have to pump out a book every month, it stops becoming
Yeah.
about passion. And it starts becoming about I just need to get this done. It's
Yep.
about corporate. It's about corporate wash down. It's like, okay, you need to have this in here. You can't have that in there, and you need to do it immediately. So it's like the old pulp novelists used to do, where they want to do it. They need to do it one take, so they can get it published, get paid. I think I have a feeling a lot of comic book creators these days, they just go with the flow. It's like, okay, I gotta write something woke. I gotta write something that demonizes these people. And so that I can get it published, no problem. I get paid. And that's what some people might be thinking of. And I feel sorry for some of the artists, because some of these artists working on these really nonsensical works that no one wants to buy are really good artists. They're really doing their job. And I always say this, like it must really suck to work on something like The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens or The Rise of Skywalker. Uh, and because if you are in the effects department, which is kind of like the artist for a comic book, if you're an artist for a comic book, if you are in the effects department, you have to bring your A game. You can't slack off. The writers can slack off. They can write absolute nonsense and it can still get published. But
Yeah.
as a artist, as a colorist, as a letterer, as a effects person in the movie industry, you cannot slack off. You have to be in your A game every single time, even if it's a terrible product you're working on.
You're right.
It's
Yeah.
really unfortunate for them. And see, Alex Halo, thank you too. Blend S is an anime that takes place in an anime cafe. Is it a game? If it's a game, I'm not looking into getting it. But speaking of anime, there's some news that came out about an anime that is actually very popular. So popular, it's very popular in the States as well. It's very well known.
Really.
Cowboy Bebop is now under the microscope. It's now under the eye of Sauron, you could say. And
Oh no.
Fortunately, it's your boy Yellow Flash has put together a nice little video for us to break down everything. Basically, what they're going to do is the big one that's coming out is that they're going to take Faye Valentine and give her a more modest costume. I think they're going to take away all the smoking and make everything. They're taking away all the things that make Cowboy Bebop. Because I know Cowboy Bebop was made for the rule of cool. Like, it was built off the rule of cool. He wanted. I remember that he made so many decisions on naming and characters because he thought they were cool, and they're kind of taking that all the way.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to produce a live action Cowboy Bebop, a series that runs off the rule of cool, and they're going to take away all the cool. Good luck. Good luck with that. Bedroom Bunny. The part where the woke broke me was when they made Crimson Skull around sound like a decent person in comics. I remember that. I think there was a point where they made Red Skull and just literally copied and pasted one of Trump's speeches into Red Skull's dialogue, and he sounded reasonable for once.
Yep. Oh man, so stupid.
Like, maybe we should have Law and Order. Like, oh, that sounds good to me. Pretty easy way to make your fans hate you. Imply that they are Nazis. Yeah. What if you're Republican? What if you vote on the right? I mean, you really want to demonize people with money? You really want to demonize half what statistically might be half of your fan base? That's bad business. That's bad business. Why would you purposely demonize these people?
It's all about the fans. It's all about the chat, and doing anything that's going to split that up is just so asinine to do. And it's like you hate your product. You don't want to be successful. You don't want to have fans. The reason I do everything is for the fans, because I want them to read these stories for sure.
Oh, we got to represent more people. Why don't you entertain people? Why don't you stop applauding yourself?
That's my question too. Why can't they just entertain us? Why can't they just for 1 second, for one solitary minute, Stop applauding themselves. Stop patting themselves on the back and be entertaining for one episode. Demon with that sword, thanks for $9.99. Appreciate that. Cowboy Bebop without smoking. I rest my case. Yeah, pretty much like Mad Men without smoking. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's like Dr. Alpha without smoking. Doesn't work. Okay? Doesn't work at all. Okay, so let's see what travesties await us in this circle of hell that they've tossed Cowboy Bebop down.
So in case you forgot, there's still a live-action version of Cowboy Bebop coming to Netflix. I know everybody is so excited for that show.
Because of course it's Netflix. Of course it's Netflix doing this. Woke Netflix, who made a modern version of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and had witch stuff about 5 minutes, and then went to woke feminist nonsense where they went from witch stuff to let's start a feminist club. No, thank you. I don't want to watch this anymore. They couldn't finish the first episode. They went right from magic and black magic and witchcraft to, hey, let's put together a club for feminists. Oh, that's nice. Good luck with that. I'm changing the channel.
Netflix is making a big push to adapting anime for their platform, and that's intentional for a lot of reasons. I think as comic book movies start to fade out, you're going to see a lot of companies try to adapt live action anime. It's going to happen. Happen with comics. The next logical step is to go and harvest anime and manga. There's a lot of potential there. The problem is I don't think they can do it. They've tried. They got really close with Alita. That was actually really well done, at least in my opinion. Netflix has tried this a couple of times now. There's that Full Metal Alchemist live-action movie. I didn't watch that. There's the terrible Death Note. I hear they're doing One Piece. I don't know if that's true or not. And then we have this, Cowboy Bebop, 100% coming. They're already 3 episodes deep. They had to stop.
I'm not looking too good so far. Not looking too good so far.
Because of everything going on right now. But rest assured, it is coming. And there's a lot of information in here that tells us it's going to be bad. Just look at the title alone. The headline for this article alone should tell you enough. Live action Cowboy Bebop, not a replacement for original, says executive producer. And then they add on Faye's costume toned down, smoking less glamorized. Now, the smoking thing, that's been going on for a while in a lot of American media. I can point to Wolverine in the comic books.
Can these companies learn it's not their job to keep us moral? Okay, it's not their job to think for us. If we want to smoke, we could smoke. It's legal. But it's not going to be one. First of all, they're going to tone down the sexuality of Faye Valentine. They're going to tone down her costume, which is part of her character. It's part of her mystique and her power, which was her sexuality. Like she was a temptress. She was a femme fatale. That's kind of part of the character. You can't really have a femme. It's very difficult to have a femme fatale without that power of sexuality, because it's kind of like the opposite of the ingenue. The innocent damsel in distress, the princess. It's the opposite. Where the princess attracts the male hero with innocence and virtue, the femme fatale will tempt the hero with overbearing sexuality. It's just how it works. It's the thing. And Faye was a femme fatale. She was that sort of character. She dominated with her looks and her sex appeal, and also she was really awesome. And of course, the smoking. That's part of the noir aesthetic. That kind of like the Western, old West sort of aesthetic, and even that all alongside that, it's not going to be a 1-for-1 adaptation. It's going to be our version of it. Now, how many times have you seen this kind of attempted and backfired? Whether it's not going to be, we're not going to make it an adaptation. It's just this. It's not going to be. I love this thing. How am I going to make it unique under me? I don't really care about this thing and how it's flawed. How can I fix it? That's their mentality.
Right. We see that in comics a lot. We've seen that with the HBO Watchmen series, where it was based in the same universe, wasn't the same story, If you guys know that old Jim Carrey movie, The Mask, well, that was a comic from the 90s, which was super ultra violent, really wacky, and really, really good. Recently, they took that IP, The Mask, made it into a story called I Pledge Allegiance to the Mask, and just made it into The Mask basically being Trump and running for president, wearing a crown, hypnotizing America to be super chaotic, and the series ends with the White House blowing up. Bastardized the character and the IP. People don't care about what has come before them. They just want to use the intellectual property as a tool to get across what they think about the world.
Yeah, I think the people who really like the Watchmen were like, I don't know, your boy Zach. He's like an audience of one. I know your boy Zach.
Yeah.
He actually liked that show for some reason, and then he was like the only audience. I think everyone else is, as far as I've seen, everyone else is just watching it so they can, review it and tell you how
Yeah.
bad it is on their channels. I made a rule. I don't really want to watch these woke things anymore. I don't want to watch these woke media. I don't care about
Same.
reviewing or anything like that. I just don't want to watch this stuff. There's other stuff out there that I can spend my time watching that isn't woke and it's legitimately entertaining and is worthy of being watched because people put effort into it. Like John Wick. Yeah, it's a little woke. It's a little bit, but very minuscule. Very minuscule. Like you wouldn't even notice it until someone points it out. So my rule is like, if it's more than 2% woke, I won't watch it. John Wick is maybe like 0.5% woke. It's very, very little. I think the only really woke thing in there is that maybe Halle Berry, but that wasn't really all that woke because she needed John Wick also, and it's just her character dynamic, and it was also really cool, and also the whole adjudicator thing. She was canonically non-binary. They don't really put that in the story. It's just kind of a thing that is true in canonically, but they don't say
Huh.
they don't harp on it. Like you wouldn't know.
didn't
Right? You wouldn't know that, right?
She was
But-
such a bitch.
Yeah, she was. I wanted John Wick to kill her, but they couldn't because she's connected to the table, and that would be a really bad idea. Really bad idea because she's the only one who can declare peace. So it made sense why they didn't kill her.
Yeah.
But canonically, apparently, she was non-binary. They made her character non-binary, but you wouldn't know because they don't harp on it.
Who knew?
That's what I mean. So I don't care if you made a
Yeah.
character non-binary. Just don't shove it in my face every 10 minutes. And they didn't. And so it's fine. So that's what I mean by it's not that woke. It's a little bit woke. A little bit woke, but not very much at all. Very minute traces of wokeness. I mean, it's there, but very minute. Creative Imagination, commercial with 5, appreciate that. Anime full non-PC content and censorship frenzied studios. This might be a trend that kills Hollywood. I hope so. We need, as your boy Yellow Flash says, let's go ahead and let's pray for the end of celebrity worship. We need to stop worshiping these people. They're just people who sing and dance for us. They're not gurus or sages. They're paid to lie to us on screen in a very appealing manner. I see Mark in 3D. Thank you much for the 1,000 huffs of internet gas. Appreciate that. Netflix adapt. No. Netflix to adapt Samurai Champloo with Mugen, a nihilistic junkie, Jin, a soy boy, and Fu being hardcore feminist who wants revenge on the patriarchy. Well, if they do that, if Netflix adapts Samurai Champloo, it's going to be war, chat. It's going to be all out war. I will declare war on Netflix, and there will be no end to it because I like Cowboy Bebop. I love Samurai Champloo. I prefer that one over Cowboy Bebop. That's me personally. I'm not saying it's objectively better, but I'm saying it appeals to me personally better than Cowboy Bebop. I really like Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an all-out battle there, chat. They dare adapt Samurai Champloo. It's war. It's going to be all-out war.
I'm fucking Ahab. I'm Captain Ahab of the blue-haired land whale.
It got to be Ahab, chat. And we turn right into Ahab on this.
Always.
Yeah. But this whole, we're getting rid of smoking. We're putting Faye in a burqa. I don't know.
You want to pump out more soy boys that look like Will Wheaton? This is the inevitable result of all of this. This is where we're going. This is why we fight so hard.
Exactly. Let's see here.
If you didn't know, used to be a big cigar smoker. They've actually removed that, and they've been going back and removing his cigars from old material, which is wrong in my opinion. Now, on the surface, you would say, okay, well, this isn't that big of a deal. But to me, this is already big changes. Now, the Faye costume, that's a really big deal. That's the character. Plus, that goes into the whole argument, why can't women wear clothing
So I guess Yellow Flash is making the same argument you made earlier, that the gun to Elmer Fudd is a big part of his character. The Buster Sword, Buster Blade to Cloud is part of his character. Faye's costume is part of her character. It helps signify what kind of character she is. It's like Spike Spiegel. Part of his character is the suit that he wears. Ed, part of Ed's character is the goggles that she wears. It's just part of their aesthetic. You take these away, you're taking away part of what made them them. It's just part of it, and they're kind of watering it down for a quote unquote modern audience. I think modern audiences can handle smoking. People really like Mad Men. I think modern audiences can handle another show with a cigarette in there. I don't know about you, but I think that's how it can go.
that. It's this weird thing. Women have to be covered up, but Spike could run around half naked. That would be okay. Faye, not so much. It's this whole Puritan thing.
It can't have the male gaze is bad. But if it appeals to the male gaze, that's bad. But you know what? The male gaze is not just for men. I'm pretty sure there's a certain sexuality of women who also share the same tastes as the men who also enjoy the male gaze. I don't think they should be forgotten, right? I don't think they should be overlooked. Some women with different tastes, but they're being overlooked here because men are garbage or something. I don't know. Whatever it is.
That they want to go back to. We need to go back to where women were dressed head to toe. Let's cover their faces too, maybe. I don't know. Why not? That's empowerment for women now, is to completely cover them up. It's a really strange notion. It used to be celebrated that women could do that, like an expression thing. And now it's like, oh, that's bad. Maybe if Faye was like 300 pounds, then they would be okay with it. That seems to be okay. It's really weird. I really don't get it. But let's go through this. There's some concerning stuff in here that I think brings up, at least to me, a lot of red flags. Now, I haven't watched Cowboy Bebop in a long time. I've been meaning to sit down and watch it again. I actually bought it. I was in Walmart like 4 months ago, and they had the entire series on Blu-ray for I think I paid like $20 for it. I was like, well, this isn't a bad deal.
That's pretty good.
Series.
That's pretty good.
So I bought it. I've been meaning to sit down and watch it again. I might do that soon. I've been wanting to go back and watch some older stuff like this. So I think I might go back and watch it, especially with this series coming. It would be good to be refreshed on the material so that, because when this comes out, I'm going to review it 100%. I know this show is not going to be good. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it'll surprise.
And see, Barry Bend, I don't think this will succeed, as it would be hard for the current Hollywood to match Wendy Lee's performance as Faye in the English dub. Oh, I'm pretty sure they couldn't ever do that. Not in Hollywood, not in modern day Hollywood. Everything has to be, super, super woke. Demon of the Sword, the perfect clip for this. His chin looks like balls. Should I cover that too? I think that's a Family Guy joke.
Surprised me, but the stuff in this article right here that I'm going to go over is throwing a lot of red flags in my book when it comes to making this show. So, executive producer and writer of the show has addressed fans' concerns that the Netflix live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop might be unfaithful to the original anime. During an interview with Gizmodo, he explained how the Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop would be faithful to the original anime. The new series is meant to add to canon rather than try to replace the anime series. He said, we don't want the fans of the show to look at it and say that we failed them or we failed the original. You shouldn't try to add. So just remake.
I'm pretty sure that they don't want to come out and say it, but I'm pretty sure the mindset is not. Let's add to this the Cowboy Bebop universe. I'm pretty sure the mindset is how do we fix it? Because they're already doing
Yeah.
that. If they just wanted to add to it, they wouldn't be changing Faye's costume. They wouldn't be taking away the smoking. They're not adding
Well,
to
it's
it.
all censored.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
censoring it. They're coming in and quote unquote fixing everything. Okay, they're fixing everything.
Left-wing activists. They say, nice hobby that you have. It's a little bit sexist, don't you think? Maybe you better let us in to fix it. Bitch, it wasn't made for you.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe, that the people who hate smoking, people who want Faye to be dressed in a burqa, maybe this Cowboy Bebop franchise maybe it wasn't made for you. Maybe it was made for the people who like it, the people it was made for, like, I guess men or something. Maybe it wasn't made for the people who want Faye covered up and not smoking. It wasn't made for the woke crowd. I don't think nothing really is made for the woke crowd. It's making it about them. I say, Didi my sword. If women are naked, it's catering to the male gaze. If men are naked, it's suddenly okay because it's catering to the male power fantasy. They want to use their cake and eat it too. Yeah, they want to have their cake and eat it too. That's what kind of like the essence of wokeness is all about. The SJW NPC movement. It's all about having their cake and eating it. They want to say one set of principles and then practice another set of principles.
Make the series like this is not going to add to canon. I don't care how good this show is. I'm not going to look at this show and say, oh, well, this makes sense now when I'm watching the anime. They should really kind of be their own thing. The show should take inspiration and adapt the story of the original anime, but it shouldn't add to it. No one's going to look at this show and say, oh, well, this is a sequel series or an add-on series. This isn't a good look to me. I don't want this at the end of the day touching the perfection of that old show. That old show is amazing. Great show, and a lot of people love it. And that's why you're in hot water here. A lot of people are looking at you like, don't mess up my stuff. So you're already in a hot seat with this stuff. And he's kind of defensive about it. And you're going to see that because he pushes back on one set of outrage that shouldn't surprise you when I get there. So he went on to explain his philosophy for writing the show's episodes. You've got a show where you have 26 episodes that are full of very colorful villains and very colorful stories, very colorful adversaries, bounties, and all of that. We're not going to go one-to-one on all of those stories because we're also trying to tell the broader story of Spike Spiegel and the Syndicate. Spike, Julia, and Vicious, and all of that. But we are looking at the show and saying who are some of the great villains in the show and how can we put them into the show in a broader narrative.
One thing that's always good about these adaptations, because they're always so terrible, is that they give a new appreciation. They make you give a new appreciation for the stuff that's come before. Because I know personally that when the Disney sequel Star Wars came out, I suddenly saw the prequels trilogy in a whole new light. Like, you know what? Maybe these aren't that bad.
Yeah, polishes the old stuff.
I know for a fact that they could have been a whole lot worse. They're not that bad. Thank you, Disney Star Wars, for enlightening us on the genius of George Lucas. So hopefully this will be too. This will be like, oh, Cowboy Bebop. Wow, this is terrible. But let me go see the original. Maybe it's not this bad. And they go see it, and it's really, really good.
So that we are telling both of the big stories that Cowboy Bebop tells. I don't think, I don't know how many episodes this series is going to get. So doing 26 episodes that are one-to-one to the original series, I get not wanting to do that because then it's like, what's the point? And I think the story of Spike in the Syndicate and Vicious is really good, but it's dangerous to me to try to tell that yourself. Now, they do have the original creator of the show as a consultant advisor, but the problem is just because you have him there consulting doesn't mean you're going to listen to everything he says. There's a lot of times, look at Stan Lee in the Marvel movies. He was there as a consultant and as an advisor, and they didn't always listen.
I think these woke people they usually just bring these people on his advisors on, and because they want to just give like a accreditation. They swear, okay, hey, don't blame us. We brought this guy on. They want to lay the burden down on these guys' shoulders. But we're reaching the 2.5 hour mark here. We'll go ahead and cut out the stream. Let's see here. So, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it. Check out Lost Pages.
Yeah,
By Zaid
for sure.
Comics. So peruse through it, see if you like it, and give it a shot if you're interested. I know I intend to. So
thank you so much. Yeah, the link's
Hey.
in the description below, guys.
Yeah, it's in the description
Thanks
below.
for having me, and thank you to the chat for sure.
Yeah, thank you for best chat. Always best chat. So
Yeah,
thank you very
best
much, best chat. And thank you very much for your generosity, and thank you for joining us today. Hope you had a wonderful time. Hope we had at least got you through something, or hopefully at the very best, it improved your day at least a little bit. So, having said that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.
See you guys.